Okay, welcome back to Nicozcast, episode 8. Jumping right into it, we are doing I guess, MCU lookover ranking. Well, not ranking, but we're looking at a ranking of MCU movies as deemed by their Rotten Tomato critic scores, and we're just gonna go through the list and see, whether or not we agree slash thoughts on the movie and its placement as of that ranking. Starting from the
We're
lowest
ranking.
score and going up to the best score.
We're ranking mid.
We are ranking mid. Thank you.
Yeah, God fucking damn it.
Thank you, Mr. Fiji Water.
Yippee.
All right, so
let's
I
go.
think it's obvious what the first movie is. I'm pretty sure we all know.
Yep, Eternals.
Eternals, baby.
I have mildly medium opinions on this actually.
So do I.
Okay. I guess for Eternals, for me, I still like this movie. I'm not okay. I gotta say, I still like this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I do understand why it's like on the lower end for some people. I can get that. It's not as bad as it's not as bad as like every other person's like saying it is. It's still good. It still has like this movie has great action scenes and great CGI. I think you would literally have to be denying that.
I think so too. Especially because when it came out, I saw like all the Twitter posts saying like, "Bro, this shot looks like a PS3 cutscene," and I'm like, "Are you?"
No, there are a lot of
freaking-
lame shots.
I mean,
but
yeah,
the
but like, I couldn't like, I don't know, nothing looked terrible to me.
Literally compared to literally compared to Black Panther, this shit looks like the fucking Mona Lisa.
Yeah,
Compared to like
I agree.
the two Black Panther movies that came out with like their final action scenes. I don't know what it is with. Actually, I'll get to that later when we actually get to Black Panther. But yeah, I do understand why is this on the lower end. I don't think it's like it being on the lower end is a bad thing. I just think it's just not as good as probably like some other MCU movies. Well, except for maybe one.
I disagree with it being the worst one.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's
it's
my
not the
strong
worst.
take. That's my hot take. It's not.
I think it's in the lower end, but I do not think it's the worst one by
same.
a long shot.
I think it's dog shit though, but I don't think it's the worst.
Damn, bro.
I think there are. I don't know if I'd put it second worst. No, it might be second worst. Yeah, I don't know if I'd worst. I'd put it second worst, but maybe.
Yeah.
Actually, I gotta think. I don't remember.
Because I know what I have lower than this movie for me.
I know what I have lower as well.
Yeah, I have a clear. I think it's maybe third or fourth worst.
Yo, Tro, any thoughts?
I never watched Eternals, but
okay.
except for like the last 15 minutes.
It'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, no, I walked in on my dad watching it, and he's like, "This is probably one of the most boring movies I've ever seen in my life." I don't know why I sat here.
That's the thing for this movie. It's a good watch, but it also is just not like it doesn't like do anything for me. It's like,
I love the actors in it, but they're not really doing anything in this movie for me.
Yeah. No, it was like I asked him, I'm like, "So what's happened in the movie so far?" He's like, "I have no idea."
Basically, yeah.
Yep, that's accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I'll get to it eventually.
And even I'm just like, the fuck? What's going on? Although I guess that's what happens when you make a movie about Eternals, because Eternals in the comics is lame as hell, bruh.
All right, next movie. Well, everyone has the list open. I was gonna say take a guess, but if everyone's looking,
actually, I was surprised to see this one.
Yeah, so apparently, Love and Thunder is lower than Dark World. So Love and Thunder is the second worst.
Yeah,
Which I don't know. Like, I want to say like
both are ass, but I personally put Dark World lower just because it's less entertaining to watch. That's for me.
It's so mixed for me.
It's literally like comparing trash versus garbage. So
yeah,
it's like,
pretty much.
Yeah,
Dark World's more boring, but like the humor in Love and Thunder is so unbearably unfunny.
Oh my god!
Like the editing in that, just the way the movie looks, like the way that everyone's characterized. The thing with that movie is like, I'd personally put Dark World above because like Dark World was boring, but it's like it doesn't feel like schlock, I guess. Like it feels like there was an idea there, but
wait a minute.
I get what you're saying,
Hold on
actually.
this movie also had Loki, therefore it's better.
That's true.
That's also true.
But Loki carried the fuck out of this movie.
No, he did. He was the
So
best
like
part of Dark
Loki
World.
in like the first half of the movie, I was like super engaged, and then it like everything else kind of just disappeared for me.
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Actually,
The first half of this
good
movie
take.
is really interesting. The stuff with the invasion and like when Thor's mother gets killed and that stuff, and like his mother's relationship with Loki and that how that was portrayed. I thought that was done really well. And after all that happens, the movie just takes a nosedive.
Yeah,
It just gets really boring.
Yeah, I think that's literally like probably the best way to put it. Yeah, that's probably why. Actually, now you say it, like I think I probably changed my opinion that it is slightly higher than Love and Thunder because every time I think of Love and Thunder, it just pisses me off because this literally could have been the best Thor movie if they just didn't do all that shit, like try to focus on the comedy.
Yeah, no, like I was excited for this movie when I was seeing it. I saw it in theaters like the day it came out with friends, and we walked out of that like with nothing to say because it just felt like childish and dumb. And it's like it's Taika Waititi too. It's like he's better than this.
he is way. That's my biggest disappointment with Love and Thunder. I do got one big thing though. I think personally, for me, I actually your take I think is really good actually, and has recontextualized a bit because Dark World starts off way stronger than Love and Thunder could ever hope to be in a million fucking years. However, most important factor, I would never want to rewatch Dark World again. I think I'd rather watch Love and Thunder in with my like family and we're all playing a board game than ever put on Dark World.
Yeah, that's. This is why I have no idea where to really put these two. Like one can really go over the other because on one hand, Dark World is fucking boring as hell without Loki, and on the other hand, Love and Thunder is just like unbelievably unfunny, bruh.
Yeah, I feel like Dark World makes for good background noise, and like Love and Thunder is like you want to ignore it.
Love and Thunder is the one you watch when you fucking drink or get high.
Okay. Yeah. When I was first watching Love and Thunder, there were so many times in this film where they just have an unnecessary joke in the middle of something. And it would just piss me off.
It interrupts the flow always. It always interrupts the flow of the fucking story.
I didn't need Natalie Portman trying to come up with catchphrases every 30 seconds.
Like having a joke almost every single scene. Like I'm not even joking. They literally try to implement a joke in every single scene.
Yeah.
Unless if a character is talking, there has to be some kind of joke to it. Now I can't lie. I maybe laugh at maybe a couple jokes in this film, but most of them are like trying way too hard to make you laugh. Like you can tell.
Yeah, I feel like the thing with Love and Thunder is it's like what people who don't like Marvel say it's like. Unfunny, kind of just focusing only on comedy, like boring. It doesn't really, if anything, it like hurting the movie industry basically in that sense. Like I would not say that for Marvel, but I feel like that argument could be made for Love and Thunder because it's
because it's pretty much like the most stereotypical like Marvel movie of like what someone would say about a Marvel movie. It's like it being like comedically focused and shit like that. But it was funny too because I remember like so much discourse about MCU movies with their comedy, and then this fucking movie comes out.
Yeah, and it's like
make the argument so much worse now. Oh man. All
right, we all finished there. I think
so.
All right, I'm trying to think. I wanted to say the thing about I'll give Love and Thunder this and this alone. I like the final act. I like the final act.
Was
final act's good. That's it.
Yeah.
Out of all the
well shot too
movies, Christian Bale is one of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, Gore was such wasted potential. It's so sad.
Exactly. He was really good in Dark World, but Christian Bale is really good as Gore.
Yeah.
Again, this movie, like Love and Thunder, in my opinion, could have literally been the best Thor movie because they had so much shit that they could have like made it like so good.
Funnier.
Like I think making Jane Foster. Jane Foster was a dark character in the comics, so having her being a part of this movie, they could have done so much stuff about like what it's like to like be scared of death, shit like that.
Yeah.
Especially with Gore being this movie too, it could have been so much stuff they could have done, but just didn't do it.
it doesn't take itself seriously enough for certain for like some of the stuff that it's doing.
Yeah, and it just makes
Like
me sad. I'm like,
because it is focusing on it's a story about mortality basically, but everything else is when it's not doing that, it's just telling jokes.
And just like kills the mood half the time.
Yeah,
No,
or like
this clears
the thing with the gods that went nowhere, where they go and they meet all the gods and the stupid orgy joke, and then they leave, and it's like,
oh my god, at least with Ragnarok, because Ragnarok did have its fair share of jokes too, but at least when it was serious, it stayed serious.
Exactly.
It didn't try to force a joke onto it. It only forced a joke after the fact, or like in between, because that's like the best way to do jokes for a dark movie or like telling a dark story. But we'll get to Ragnarok later.
All right, above Thor: Dark World by 1% we have the Incredible Hulk.
Okay, I'm outright say it. I like this movie a lot.
I think it's all right. I think it's decent.
I think it's a very overhated movie.
It would be a lot better if it had Linkin Park in it. I think, to be honest.
You're not wrong. Compared to what we have now in the MCU, I think a lot of people I feel like a lot of people gone back and appreciate this movie a lot more.
Yes, I think after seeing Hulk dab, yeah, I think that's true.
But I still have it maybe like top 6, top 7 for me in the MCU movies.
Oh, damn.
No, not top 7. I mean bottom 7.
Oh, okay.
Like bottom 7. I realized I made a mistake, but yeah, even though I'm probably in the bottom 6 or 7, I still do enjoy this movie. Like every time I go back and watch it, I still think this is how you get Hulk right, especially with the mental illness.
It's
shit.
pretty. Yeah, I feel like it did that part pretty well, and it was a pretty standard Hulk plot.
Yeah,
nothing was really messed up, but it also wasn't super engaging either. But I will say that the Abomination fight was really good. That was the best part of the movie.
I would say that if you're probably a huge Hulk fan in the comics, you'll definitely like this movie a lot more. Compared to if you're not, because if you're not, then this movie, for the most part, could be pretty engaging a lot of times.
That's true.
And I like Mark Ruffalo more.
Yeah. I can see you loving this movie. Especially if you're if you're an MCU Hulk fan, you probably just go back to appreciate this movie so much more.
Yes.
Holy shit. Well, we'll get to that, but that's just my opinion. That's all I really have to say.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just the movie that exists, and then MCU gutted Hulk after this.
It's a cool movie. That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have much to say on it either. I watched it relatively. Oh, I do actually. I watched it a couple just over 2 months ago. I watched all of Phase 1 back over because I was like, man, has MCU really always been this bad? And so I watched Phase 1. And the answer, spoiler alert, is no. Phase 4 fucking blows. But also, Incredible Hulk, I think, is in that Phase 1 category of where they were clearly building up to something, and every movie was very intricately linked to each other. That I think, they teased Captain America in this movie, and this was the second movie. Yeah, this was the second movie in Phase 1.
Oh yeah, don't forget when Iron Man showed up.
Yeah, Iron Man showed up. They were making. They had things they wanted to do immediately.
Wait, actually, fun fact. I should actually tell you this. So I feel like it's not talked about often. They were actually planning to combine these two. They're gonna combine them, and they were also gonna combine them with the X-Men, because I don't know if you remember from Iron Man. I forgot which Iron Man. I think it was Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2. But Nick Fury, he was originally gonna say Spider-Man, X-Men, all that. They were originally gonna combine all that together.
That was probably the first one. First.
Yeah, it was illegal. I'm pretty sure it was a legal thing because they were initially just planning on combining everything.
Yeah, they didn't have
I didn't go see it.
Yeah, they didn't have the rights at all to half the shit. They didn't have anything for
because everyone knows. Yeah, because everyone knows Marvel showed their most popular characters, and they only had these guys left.
Yeah, this was before they got bought by Disney too. So like Spider-Man's
Yeah.
gone, X-Men are gone, Fantastic Four's
Yeah.
gone, all the big guys are gone. They don't have them. It was just Iron Man and a few other guys.
Which were literally B tier characters. They had nothing to go off.
But yeah, I appreciate Hulk for that reason in comparison to some of these other later movies. That
Yeah.
they wanted to do something and they did it immediately. Whereas recent MCU movies will be like, here's an Easter egg to a movie that'll come out a decade from now. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Right.
I also got to say this. Well, besides Eternals, this is also like the other MCU movie that has like probably the least amount of jokes in it.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
Also,
It's very serious.
because I forgot to to the last few to say whether or not we think the ratings were fair or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like Eternals kind of is.
I actually Eternals is I think the one on this list I disagree with the most. I didn't say this back when we were talking about. I was going to save it for later, but I'll say it now.
Right.
I think Eternals is when people woke up and realized that most of these movies are way worse than we thought they were.
And it got
Actually, no, yeah, I put
hate.
Eternals higher, but like
it got shit on so hard. And I was going to say this again for Multiverse of Madness. I don't think I'd change Multiverse of Madness's score at all, but I think it'd be in my top 15. I think it'd be in the top half of these movies.
Nah, that's how I feel too. Because that's when everyone's starting to realize that, hey, wait a minute, these movies aren't as good. Oh, wait, gay people? Oh, hell no. Not my movie.
like Black Widow goes down, Captain Marvel goes down, fucking what was the other one I was gonna say? Iron Man 2 goes down. All these movies I'd put below Multiverse of Madness. And Multiverse of Madness is the next one we're gonna be talking about.
yep. I was gonna say also, I'm pretty sure both Thor movies feel like they're like 64, 66. So
I'd actually put them down a little bit.
I'd put them down lower. I liked Eternals a little more.
I'll put
more.
Eternals at a solid 5.
That's fair.
Maybe
Bro,
a
Liam.
4 if I'm feeling a little cynical. Yeah, what's up?
Bro,
5.
I genuinely forgot the fucking Black Widow movie existed. I'm not even joking. I genuinely forgot
You're gonna
about
be
that.
flabbergasted when we get to its number.
All right,
remember like all these movies very well, but Black Widow felt like a fever dream, bruh. As soon as you said that, I was like, wait a fucking minute.
Yeah.
That movie, I forgot.
You're gonna go crazy when we get to its score.
I
Actually,
still remember that movie too, but yeah. Okay, next.
For Hulk, Hulk was 67, which I kind of agree with. It's like 6.
I'll put it at 6.
Yeah, 6 is about how I feel about it.
Yeah, around the 60s. Yeah, I agree too.
Okay, next we have technically, so we have Doctor Strange at a 74, and then Iron Man 2 is a 71, but Iron Man 2 was certified fresh, so it's ranked higher even though the number's lower.
What the fuck does that mean? I think he's right in the middle.
I don't know either. I'm pretty sure they just.
Let me Google.
Well, it looks like a different icon, so I'm assuming it's like well, no, yeah, fresh for it's probably they probably changed like the scores at some point in the past 12 years.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah. It's apparently I guess it's because it recently dropped below it, but certified fresh means it had a consistent score above 75% for X amount of time. I don't know how long that amount of time is.
So next would be Iron Man 2 then.
Okay.
At 71.
It's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's cool. I get I feel like out of most of these MCU movies, it's probably one I have the least amount of say. It's just another Iron Man movie to me. It's not as cool as Iron Man 3 in my opinion. Like not as unique, and I don't think it really comes close to Iron Man 1. But it's just an okay sequel to the first movie.
It's a sequel for sure.
Yeah, that's all I really have to say. I agree with the score.
I actually put it at a 6.
I probably place it a little lower, probably.
I have a soft spot for it.
I feel like. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I'm kind of in the minority here because I love Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I watched it at some point last year when I was doing my MCU rewatch because I didn't remember it very well. I ended up enjoying it like a bit in the first one. Even like I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
I'm with you, Tro.
I rewatched it and I did the opposite. I was like, man, this movie is not nearly as cool as I remember.
You
I
see,
was so
the funny
hyped.
part
This
is,
is Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle debuts here. I was like, let's fucking go. I love Don Cheadle. And I was like, damn.
the funny part is, right? This is actually the Iron Man movie I watched the absolute most. Like, I watched this movie a lot more times compared to Iron Man 1 and 2. And yeah, it's a cool movie. I still like it. Don't get me wrong. I think, bro, that scene with War Machine and Iron Man, like when they're fucking up all those robots, that's still one of my favorite scenes in the MCU, like as a whole.
Yeah.
But overall, like every time I go back to it, I just think it's I still have fun watching this movie. I'm not gonna lie, because it's a fucking Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
But
I think
that's pretty much just how I feel.
I think it fucks around way too much, but that final act is really awesome. I love it a lot.
It's so cool, bro. I remember it so much. Yeah,
I just love how much of a shitter Justin Hammer is. Because Justin Hammer sucks, and it's every time he shows up, it's just really funny how he's just like Walmart Tony Stark, and every single time he delivers his lines, it's like he's acting like he's significantly cooler than he is, and it's just the delivery of that performance is just so good. I love it.
Bro, with you saying that, like, it makes me want to rewatch it again with that context.
Because it's like,
you're
with
right,
Justin Hammer and like him going up to Whiplash when like that's somebody that could like tear him in half, but he's like acting like I took your shoes, so that means I'm better than like he takes his shoes and his bird. He's like, I took your stuff. What are you gonna do now?
That scene is fucking hilarious. Oh my god!
No, Justin Hammer's so good. With like his like the setup in the beginning of the movie where he's talking about like that awesome like missile. I forget what he called it, but he gives it to in War Machine suit, and the War Machine uses it. It just like breaks immediately.
I remember that now.
Oh god!
Yeah, no, he's like, I call it the ex-wife.
Yeah. No, oh my god, I love the ex-wife joke. I love the
just
ex-wife
like falls
joke.
in the water, and it's so good. I love Justin Hammer.
Now I have to rewatch the movie again just for him, bruh.
No, I'm telling you, that's why I love that movie so much, because of Justin Hammer. He's fucking great.
Also,
with those lenses
It's got
on
some
with
gold.
him, it's gonna make it way funnier.
Justin Hammer, Whiplash is all right, but the stuff with also with Tony and his dad, because it's clear he didn't really like he had like a bit of a rough relationship with his dad, and then watching those videos more and kind of like getting it, like growing up a bit, I guess. And it's like the way it tackles that is really nice too, because Tony's dying because of his what's it called, his
arc reactor.
His technology isn't working anymore for his arc reactor. Yeah. So he's dying, so he's making all these stupid mistakes, and he's also thinking about his dad, like, before he died, and then realizing, like, using his dad's kind of technology for what he was actually working on, and shows how much when he sees that video and realizes how much he really cared about
inventing the new element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dumb at times, but I like it. I find it endearing.
It's exactly what it needs. I think comic book movies should be dumb. And
the thing with
the next one.
The Jon Favreau Iron Man movies is that they're just purely labors of love.
Yeah, they are.
Character, and I just love that for those movies. So I personally disagree with the ranking.
This is a bit off topic, but I said this for like any kind of superhero thing. All superhero shit should not take itself like too seriously.
Yeah.
Just because like literally the concept of superheroes is fucking hilarious on paper. Like they're like bright colored heroes fighting for people.
Yeah. I know like a modern cheesy Superman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be perfect.
I do have some exceptions, like movies such as Logan. Like I think that movie has to be serious just because of the context. But for like most hero movies, they need comedy for it.
There's plenty of room for serious superhero movies, but the default shouldn't be necessarily serious.
Don't make a hero that is not supposed to be dark and just make it like dark and gloomy.
Yeah.
which is like
without
Zack
comedy,
Snyder.
it feels kind of. That's why I really like the Batman, just because
Oh, God, I love the Batman.
Bruce himself is like all dark and gloomy, and like everybody else just like thinks he's just like it's like why the fuck is the guy in the bat suit? This nigga, like this dude is crazy.
Yeah.
The
The one scene when they're where like they don't know the Spanish when they're interrogating Penguin is one of my favorite scenes. I love that.
Oh my god, it's so fucking funny.
Every
So funny.
single time. That scene kills me every single time.
I need to watch that movie again. It's so good.
I gotta watch the second too. The Batman.
But yeah.
I just wanted to add that kind of similar boat with you. I like Iron Man 2 a lot more than other people. So I disagree with that ranking only slightly. Like I kind of understand it, but for me, it's definitely more than 71. But also, I just wanted to add that the first Whiplash encounter in the suit up on the raceway is one of my favorite suit up scenes.
That shit looks
Okay,
cheap,
suit up scenes maybe doesn't. Iron Man 1 is insane. I love Iron Man 1 to this day.
I think in terms of suit up scenes, the Iron Man movies are just unmatched. Like even 3, like with it's more CGI for that one, but it's still sick with like all the pieces.
Yeah, they put everything into making his suit look cool as fuck, and that's
I can see how this guy has become like the most popular MCU character because literally as a kid, who didn't want to be Iron Man, bruh?
Yeah, like they got to blow up like tanks and shit for that movie. Like that was before they started using CGI. Like all that stuff was practical effects, and that's I love that about that movie.
Oh man, God.
Okay,
but yeah.
Moving on. Next, above Iron Man 2 at 74%, we have Multiverse of Madness.
My time has come. I'm this movie's biggest defender.
The same. I'll let you guys talk this through.
Go ahead, Liam.
Movie is one of the most underrated MCU movies. It's way more interesting than half the shit on this list. MCU fans are terrible. This movie, they did not deserve this movie. There are fair criticisms though that like I like Doctor Strange. I love that guy, big fan of him, and I love how he is in the MCU. However, like I get it, yeah, sure. Movie was not really about him, despite his name being on the title, and I never finished WandaVision, so I've heard that that finishing WandaVision really tanks this score. However, in a vacuum, this movie fucks, unironically.
Yeah, that's I guess that was the difference because when we walked out of the theater, Liam was like way more fucking.
Yeah, I was like, that was awesome.
I think that might be because I did watch WandaVision and he didn't.
I watched the first like 2 episodes and
I never even touched that series, and I like Doctor Strange.
If you watch WandaVision, this film is fucks. Like Wanda is like great. The only thing I think the only issue with Wanda in this film is not even Wanda herself. I think it's the MCU kind of fucking up their kind of order because the way WandaVision ends does not fit with how this movie starts with their character.
I've heard
that's not even a Sam Raimi or Wanda's character's fault. That's kind of an MCU thing for kind of fucking that shit up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away anything for me. It just kind of it really is just a small nitpick that I didn't even notice until after the fact.
This movie is fun as fuck. It's one of the MCU movies I'd love to rewatch.
Same. Yeah. Rewatching this movie, I get hyped for new scenes at every fucking turn. I'm just I love that this movie unapologetically is we're just gonna fucking kill people. It's gonna be fucking gory. People are gonna fucking die.
People are gonna explode.
She is insanely powerful, and she will kill every fucking person you know. She will kill them all. And I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I personally think this movie should have been ranked a little higher for me, at least, just because I think literally how the way I don't know how to describe it, but Sam Raimi's directing and how he able to write his characters along with his transitions and his weirdness fits so well with this movie. It fits perfectly with the tone of this movie, which is why I personally would rank it higher. I have my own personal issues with it, such as again, literally my biggest gripe with this film is only just probably like how oh no, it's just Reed Richards. Reed Richards like because he's like the smartest like Marvel character ever. So like how he handled it, I thought I don't know. I felt like it could have been executed better for me. That's only just me though, but that it didn't like. I wouldn't like call it like because a lot of people like when it came to that like scene and how stupid it was, they personally like shitted on the movie just because of that. I was like, no, this movie's still great. It's just like that scene didn't make any sense. But the movie, like the movie's still great.
Yeah, you could
like,
tell Sam Raimi really wanted shock value in that scene, and a lot of like comic fans would be like, "Well, no, hold on, those characters wouldn't do that." Even though he wanted somebody to walk up and be like, "We can beat her ass," and then they get fucking destroyed immediately.
No, it's a Raimi movie, and it's great for that.
I really do feel like I have no idea who chose the characters to like be a part of that. Like I feel like if it was like a different roster, like maybe Captain America, well not Captain America, but like a different roster that's not Reed Richards, that scene would have made like a lot of sense for more people. But then again, that's literally only like for comic book fans. Like a majority,
it's just the Illuminati reference.
Yeah, if you're a comic book fan, I could see you like nitpicking that.
The only one missing for the Illuminati is Iron Man, who would have replaced Captain Carter.
Yep.
Yeah, and Black Panther, and some other characters, but again, they did well with them for the most part outside of that like scene.
I do remember all the memes of people when the movie was coming out and people acting like, yeah, Nicolas Cage is going to come back as a Ghost Rider for this movie.
I would have killed a man to see that. I love Nicolas Cage.
Oh god, that would be so great, bro. Nicolas Cage,
so funny.
Bro, Nicolas Cage is my Ghost Rider is my childhood. Like on
like that Tom Cruise Iron Man, all the like fake leaks, like that one credit scene.
Bro, those fake leaks were hilarious.
They're so funny.
God. They're the best.
People were definitely setting their expectations way too high with how the Illuminati are going to be executed. I personally went in expecting it to be different regardless, but that doesn't mean that like I didn't have any personal criticism with it. But then again, that's only just because of them using Reed Richards and not really the movie's fault itself. Since I 1,000% like expected that Sam Raimi probably didn't know. Like I know how Sam Raimi directs. He likes the shock value, so it like made sense for me. But that didn't take away. That didn't take away my love for this movie, though. I just have personal criticism, and that's it.
Yep, for sure.
I love Bruce Campbell.
I found the image.
Oh yeah!
Wait, what's up,
bro?
The image
oh my God. Bruce Campbell. Oh, bro! You saying Bruce Campbell made me pop off?
I love how people were like, "Oh, this is real," and then you look and it's got Ben Stiller's Larry Daly. Night at the Museum.
I love Bruce Campbell so much.
That cameo made me so happy. I was popping off in the theater.
That was great.
I swear to God, when I seen people like hating on this film, they hated on it for the transitions and the after credit scene because it was literally Bruce Campbell and an Evil Dead reference. I'm like, bro, these MCU fans are stupid as fuck. They don't like anything.
Watch other movies.
Like that, yeah. Literally, that's what I was saying. I was like, watch other movies, bro.
Watch more films.
Also,
it's like this goofy ass transition. It's like it's perfect. Yeah.
Before we move on, I want to say, first thing I want to say is I really like how the movie handled America Chavez because, like, I didn't know anything. The only thing I knew about her was from what I was told by others from about her in the comics and how she was kind of like a Mary Sue Superman who could like also punch holes through dimensions. And I was like, oh, cool. But like they made the dimension power her only thing in the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a nice balance. I like that they did that.
Yeah, she's pretty cool in this film. The only criticism I actually seen from her is like people like the race change because her in the comics she's Afro Latina. That was like I think that was like only criticism I think I seen. But yeah, the way she was executed was pretty good though in my opinion.
So what do we think with the score? Agree, disagree?
I'd
put it a tiny bit higher.
Yeah, like probably like 77, 78, maybe 80.
I'd put
That's
it at
probably how I placed it.
80,
I
closer to 80
agree
for me.
with the score, but I'd move most of the list down a score.
Yeah, this movie is way better than people. I think people give it credit for, in my opinion. Again, that's the advantages of having it directed by Sam Raimi, because everything just feels so stylistically like fun to watch. Like every time I think of this film, I just like smile because I think this movie is just so fun compared to like a lot of the more recent MCU movies.
All right.
Yeah. I'd say it's I just want to say one last thing. I'd say it's significantly better than the next movie in the list. But
Yeah, I thought I was
Oh,
gonna have to fight my demons on this one. Going from biggest defender to biggest hater, but I'm so happy we're on the same side.
God,
All
I'm about to tear this movie to shreds. Even though I don't even hate it that much, it's just
right.
oh god.
Avengers: The Age of Ultron coming in at 76%, 2% higher than Multiverse of Madness.
Personally, a little too high, but
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It just
I put it down like a
this movie, I've
70.
always been personally like really mixed on this movie. On one hand, the concept of Ultron and like having this like big robot fight, amazing, because Ultron is literally an amazing villain in the comics. On the other hand, it's really damn stupid.
Mhm.
Yes.
I feel like this movie had so much potential and it's just wasted.
Yeah. Okay, have you ever seen the trailers for this movie before it came out?
Yeah, no,
could
I
have been
remember that
one of
shit.
the
That shit
best
was
MCU movies.
This is one of the biggest disappointments of my life, alongside release Final Fantasy 15.
Oh,
yeah.
bro, Ultron was such a because Ultron's an amazing villain in the comics, right? I was like,
Mhm.
okay, they really can't fuck this up, especially with Tony Stark creating him. That's actually a better change than Hank Pym, because Tony is like more likely to fuck up. I don't know how they fucked it up. They fucked it up.
Yeah,
The thing
my
is, too,
dad.
Ultron could have been like a recurring villain too.
Yeah,
Like
he
just
should
because
have
of the
been.
concept alone.
Would have been better that
I
way.
think the way he went out was just fucking awful. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And now
Very
he's just gone.
anticlimactic.
Now he's just gone.
Which is stupid. I'm like, the concept of Ultron alone, you could do so much with that concept.
Yeah.
Like, he's just be a recurrent villain.
He should have been a recurring villain. So I would have killed the CEO. Like Thanos was a fucking recurring villain. Why was he should have been? You know, I'm not gonna say he wasn't, but like they put him in all kinds of movies. He'd be the guy telling people to go do things, and they'd be the bad guy of a movie. Ultron should have been that guy. Like this should have been his introduction, and now he's one of the new like big bad guys that pop up in every movie. But no, he wasn't. My dad spent years telling me how cool Ultron was as a kid. I loved that fucking villain. And then this movie came out, and I didn't watch an MCU movie for a long time after.
Ultron's probably one of my favorite like Marvel villains, like in general.
Yeah.
Like probably comic villains of all time, because he like literally the concept of Ultron is one of the coolest things ever, especially with how today standard is with technology. You could literally do so much with the concept of Ultron alone, and the comics have done that many, many times. Ultron's probably one of the most recurring villains in the Marvel comics. But the fact that like he just felt so disappointing in this film just made me like very upset, especially with how he died. Because
clearly you've never made an omelet.
Yeah, they could have done so many cool things with his death or how he died instead of just beaming him down. They literally like Tony could have like hacked into him or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just could have been better. Action scenes in this film.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. My bad.
Action was good, but story was kind of disappointing. I was just going to say, Joss Whedon did this, and then he went to go and make the worst edit of Justice League that anyone ever could have made.
Where's Justice League? Worst movie of all time, bruh.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I've ever seen in my life.
That movie is miserable.
I'm a DC fan. I cannot defend that shit for the life.
Yeah, no, I can't. Like, I don't like Zack Snyder, but his Justice League was significantly better than the garbage that we got in 2016.
Action. This is probably the Avenger movie with probably my most favorite action. I'm not gonna lie, because I felt like the action scenes were really, really well executed. Especially because I don't know, I just really love like group fights where like they're doing like combos and shit. Like I love that for team up superhero movies. I think they should do that more. the Black Widow and Hulk shit was kind of weird for me, but it's only weird to me just because I was like a comic book fan, and that's like such a weird pairing of Black Widow and Hulk. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
At the end of the day, I still think it's still weird. Like
no, it's
like
definitely weird.
Oh, and obviously, because again, I'm a Flash fan, and super speed's my favorite superpower. The way Quicksilver went out in this movie has got to be one of the dumbest things I think I've ever seen in a
I'm
superhero
gonna
movie.
kill a man over Quicksilver, dude.
Yeah.
God.
That was my village origin story. Someone's dying for that.
How do you?
Like, bro had super speed and died to bullets. Oh, bro, to this day, I'm still mad about it.
Yeah, no, there's just so much about that movie that's just disappointing.
Again, this could have been way better than the first Avenger movie, and because it had so many like advantages ahead of it, and it was just like, no, actually, we're gonna make Ultron, yeah, this cool villain, yeah, he just dies just like that, you know. It's crazy too because the stakes were pretty high too in this film. Just I don't know, the execution was really bad. Also, remember their accents for not Black, the Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver. Remember their accents? Neither do I.
Yeah, no, what accents?
Oh, Loki. Every time I go back, I always forget how bad, especially Scarlet Witch's accent is. Like she's trying really hard to do that accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This is definitely worse than Multiverse of Madness. This deserves to be lower.
Yeah.
I pretty much agree with everything that's already been said. But I'll still, for Ultron alone and the action, I still like watching this movie. Like just for that part.
Yeah, the action's
pretty good. I like Ultron.
I'll
still watch it. I don't hate watching it, but
I think I've only seen
it's
this
not good.
one time since it.
Remember when Thor went into the pool and then just immediately knew he had to hit Vision with his hammer?
Oh,
Like he's like, I gotta go, and I was watching with my dad in theaters. I remember, and he's like thinking, "Oh, this is gonna set up Dark World or something," and then he comes back and he just hits Vision. It's like, no, it was just for that.
What the fuck? I forgot about that. You're right.
No, it was like Thor leaves, and he goes on like a spiritual journey type thing, and because he sees like a vision of Asgard or whatever, and that might tie into Dark World. I don't remember, but he just comes back after they get Vision and just strikes him with the hammer, and it's like,
oh yeah, I think that was foreshadowing the Ragnarok. I think, pretty sure. Just like like Tony's his like little nightmare he had of all his team members
Dark World
dying.
was before, so maybe it was Ragnarok.
Yeah, I think it was because this movie also foreshadowed Infinity War again with Thanos. I forgot if it was Thanos or Ultron, but yeah,
it was Thanos. He takes the gauntlet and says, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
Yeah, so well, yeah, for that scene and the scene where Tony had like a nightmare of like he's seen like all of his teammates like they're dead on the floor, and then he zooms up and he's like I forgot if it was Ultron or Thanos. I'm pretty sure it was Thanos, but yeah. Overall, I personally probably put this movie in the 70s.
Yeah,
or 69, 68.
Right.
I wouldn't put it any higher though, because Loki, the action really does carry this movie. I still have fun to this day watching the action. The action is so fucking fun in this movie.
All right, moving on. Next, we got 1% higher than Age of Ultron. We have the first Thor movie at 77.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Pretty much. I don't have any strong feelings about it.
I personally place it lower than Ultron, just because I don't think it's as fun to watch as Ultron, but it's just okay.
I'm gonna be in the minority here, but like actually this time probably because I'd never seen this movie before my like whole MCU rewatch because I'd always heard the Thor movies were not that good. I really like Thor 1. I thought it was a really good story in characterizing Thor and like giving him like showing him like teaching him empathy by like interacting with ordinary people.
Right.
And like he starts out thinking he's like a god, and then he's and then it gets to the point where he's willing to die just as a normal human being so he can protect the people he cares about, and only then when he's on the verge of death, because as a normal guy he tried to destroy Destroyer, it's like now he's actually worthy of the power of Thor. Like he earns
Plus
that
Loki.
back. It's
a very good Thor movie.
It's
like
a
if
good
you like
Thor movie.
Thor, yeah, you'll like it.
Yeah, I don't know much
I
about
never,
Thor aside from
I never
MCU,
cared
but I really like
that
it.
much about Thor in the comics, so I was just like, yeah, this is a good film. If I probably would have it higher if I liked the Thor in the comics that as much. But yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like the movie for me, even though I think it's just like I think it's just okay for me. I still like the film. I do think this film is a bit overrated. A lot of people do hate this film somehow.
Yeah, no, there's I
truly do
believe
not
that's
use that.
not warranted at all. I think it's a slow burn. There's not as much action as like other MCU movies, but that's fine. It's about Thor, and the stuff it does with him is really nice.
Yeah, I agree.
We do not think it's as bad as everyone says it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad, but out of the slower MC, like less action MCU movies, like it's definitely better in them. I still am not as big a fan for those because I don't know. Like when I come for a comic book movie, I come for the the shitty action stuff like that, the one-liners and stuff. So in a way, I get some of the disappointment. I still like Thor, but I'm coming in out of left field with the most strange criticism so far. Why the fuck did they dye Chris Hemsworth's hair? He looks so. He is what hottest man fucking alive, and they decided to make him look like a fucking piece of shit turd in that movie. That movie alone would have been like a million times better if they didn't do that.
Yeah, I would forget about that.
He looks so weird in the movie, and he's such a hot dude. I don't know why they were like, "Yep, all right, we're gonna bleach your hair." Like, why'd they do that?
It's probably just because like Thor's blonde in the comics, but it's like it's not like they couldn't have just changed it. Like I don't think no one would have cared.
Yeah, like his hair looks fine in Dark World onwards. It's close enough, and they were still like, "Nah, bleach it, make it worse."
Yeah, it looks really bad in that film. Now you say that, never thought about it like that. That's weird because like afterwards, it doesn't look as bad. It's literally just his film. But yeah, that's what I gotta say. Nico, you still here? What you think?
Nah, I left.
Nico's gone. Okay. Whose podcast is it? It's Liam's podcast now.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. Same thing. It's a good, fine Thor story. The movie overall is just kind of, it's all right. I don't feel strongly about it. I think 77's pretty fair rating. I wouldn't go any higher than that, honestly.
Yeah, I personally would put it lower than Age of Ultron, but it's only like a little bit lower, like probably around score. Yeah, that's how I probably would. I feel like literally, I think I probably would place it higher if I probably liked Thor, like as a character, like as a concept, a bit more.
Yeah,
since I'm not like a huge Thor fan personally, so it's like I don't know. Even though I do think this is a good Thor film, like for the character of Thor in the comics, it's perfect. But yeah, that's how I think.
Yeah, it just doesn't kind of like excel in any way. It's just kind of solid.
Yeah, I guess it just doesn't capture me as much as like other MCU films. But yeah.
All right. Get ready for this next one. This is gonna be. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a 3-way tie at 79. A rating of 79 for between. Get ready for this. Black Widow, Captain Marvel, and Iron Man 3.
I'm gonna kill somebody.
For Captain Marvel and Black Widow, oh brother, this guy stinks.
These movies are a little too high. I think the Iron Man 3 is maybe a bit better than them.
I will say,
Captain Marvel, I could get that if someone likes that film, right? But Black Widow, this high? It was like, wow.
I didn't watch Black Widow, but I heard not great things about it. No, and there's that one scene. They Taskmaster is the worst. They killed Taskmaster in that movie. He looks like garbage.
Bro, I've seen so many like Black Widow fans of this film try to defend Taskmaster, and I'm like, how could you defend fucking Taskmaster?
He has one of the coolest designs in the comics, and you fucked it up. so bad. How do you fuck up Taskmaster?
I don't even get changing Taskmaster's gender too. It literally added nothing to the story. It didn't do anything like special about it.
I think they only did that because it wasn't like they changed the gender just to change the gender. You know,
I think it was because it was a character in the movie.
Yeah, it was a pretty.
Yeah,
it
was like a character.
They made Taskmaster a pre-established character. That already
I was just like,
just happened to be a girl.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I don't know. You just like Taskmaster is like such a cool concept in general. Like being able to like fill anyone's moves and shit, or like being able to copy what they can do. Like I genuinely thought that was always like such a cool concept. And it's just kind of boring. The design for me is also like, wow. How did you fuck up this?
It's fucked up that they made you look like that. Like,
yeah, like it's like really how I felt. I was like, wow.
Dear God, I was like, when the trailer first came out, I'm like, who the fuck is that supposed to be? It's like that's not Taskmaster, is it? Because Taskmaster has a.
know that was Taskmaster. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, yeah, I don't care about this movie. And while he may be the designated MCU scrimblow bimblow of this movie, I my favorite part about it was David Harbour.
Yes.
Oh my god, he was goated. This movie had some good scenes though. Like
yeah, I mean it wasn't all terrible.
Black Widow's relationship with her sister was pretty good. But
How do you pronounce her name? Florence Pugh? I don't fucking remember. Yeah, sister character, actress. I love her so.
Yeah, she's pretty good. But overall, I genuinely think this movie should place way lower.
Yeah,
it's about.
Yeah, it's definitely lower, especially lower than actually no. Yeah, before we go to Iron Man 3, let's move into Captain Marvel.
Oh,
ain't that bad?
Fuck
but
that
it's bad.
movie.
It's bad, but it ain't that
sucks.
bad.
It's garbage.
It's
garbage. It's stupid.
No, it sucks dick.
It's kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie, but
it's terrible.
Yeah,
but people are weirdos about this movie.
They're weirdos about Brie Larson.
Hate this movie this much is very weird to me. I don't get it.
Like politics aside in the 9 yards, I have no idea what Brie Larson did to piss off so many people.
Hold on, I gotta find an image.
It's so fucking funny. It's hilarious, bro. Like the amount of like guys or misogynists that I've seen like Black Widow and Captain Marvel just because it's like a female lead is fucking hilarious.
I just always think of this image.
Yeah, like I don't know why Captain Marvel made everyone so weird for like an entire 2 year
so
span.
Fucking funny.
Like yeah, these movies like Black Widow and Captain Marvel. Well, I don't think they're like that good. I also don't think me disliking like these two films are not disliking, but just having them, I guess, like them less compared to the other movies. Me having them at the lower end doesn't mean that I'm like misogynistic or anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the people who are misogynists, they're fucking weird for no reason. Oh man!
And we all know that Iron Man 3 just tears both of these movies apart.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I love Iron Man 3.
This movie is so much fucking fun to watch.
I fucking love Iron Man 3.
I love Iron Man 3.
It's weird too because I had like a mixed feeling for Iron Man 3 for a long time, right? And then I think I rewatched it. I forgot when I rewatched it. I think it was like around the time when Far From Home came out. All right, I rewatched this film. I was like, is this movie as good as I remembered? Yeah, it was way better than I remember.
Yeah, that's how it's for me too.
Yeah,
this movie is fun.
It's really fun.
Literally, like, even though it's 79, I probably just place it at 80 just because it's fun.
Yeah, I love how it handles the Avengers PTSD for Tony.
Yeah,
it's so good.
All the Iron Man movies are just really good.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any like Iron Man movie I fully hate, to be honest. Actually, yeah. There's no Iron Man movie I really hate in general. Like all of them are pretty like fun to watch. Like I can still go back and like enjoy them, like 1,000%. Especially like even though Iron Man 2, I have it like lower than the first and the third film, I can still go back and like have a good time with that film.
Right? Yeah, same.
Robert Downey Jr. is just insane.
I love him so fucking much. It's Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's just
it's so crazy too, because I do not like Iron Man that much in the comics, but in the MCU, I'll take him any day, bruh. Yeah, so
I thought Iron Man was the stupidest motherfucker.
No, in the comics, he's just like he's a jackass. He's an alcoholic.
Yeah,
I had an action figure of his comic design, and I thought it was the ugliest piece of shit thing on the fucking planet. I literally was like, "This is the lamest thing ever."
Oh my god, his first costume was so ass. It's funny though.
Yeah, then Iron Man 1 comes out, and I'm like, "All right, never mind. He's the best thing of all time."
As cool as yeah. I'm not afraid to say this, but MCU Iron Man is 10 times better than comics, like Iron Man by a long shot. It's not even close.
Well, it's funny because the thing about that is that after Iron Man 1 came out and like that movie was super popular, in the comics they changed his personality to be more like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, they literally
completely changed his characterization because of how well received that movie was.
They've done that. They've done that for other characters too. Nick Fury.
That's what Marvel does that a lot.
Yeah.
DC thankfully has never done that, but like Marvel did it a lot.
Yeah.
Like
well, DC technically somewhat
Harley
kind
Quinn
of
is,
really did it.
They kind of did it with Harley Quinn, but like that's it.
They did it for Superman. Okay. I know no one really, but I don't know how much like comics you read. Does anyone know about the New 52 for DC?
Yeah.
Oh no, I know all about that.
Okay. So they kind of did that for Superman. Like they tried to make him a bit more serious, like how he's a Man of Steel.
I noticed.
That's why they also changed his outfit and shit.
Yep.
And it did not work out at all.
It didn't work out, so they brought back the old Superman instead.
And they never did it again. They never did that again.
The New 52 was just really weird and
very weird. Had some really cool comics, but then the other half were like really bad, really bad.
I'm gonna go on a tangent. I don't know if Nico's read it here, but I'm not into many other superheroes. I'm just a big Batman shill. But last year I went through Scott Snyder's run of Batman, and it's Scott Snyder's Batman run is genuinely some of the best stories I've ever read for that character. Like dead ass. Like they made the stupid, because I remember like being a kid in middle school, like, oh, they made Jim Gordon Batman. That's so stupid. And then I read the comics, like I actually read them, and I'm like, oh, this is actually really good.
Yeah, like a lot of people actually hated that for some reason. You hate it
because you hate it as a concept, and then you read it, and it's like
then you actually read it, and it's actually really good.
I love Scott Snyder's run.
I promise I'll get to it one day.
Nico, I'm telling you,
weird to me because I remember
what does it start with again?
It starts with issue 1.
Oh, but
New 52. It's like 40 issues or so, and the first arc is the fucking Court of Owls.
Yep. Oh god, the Court of Owls is so fucking good.
It's Court of Owls, and then Night of the Owls, and then Death of the Family, and then I think there's after Death of the Family, it's 0 Year, I think.
I read 0 Year.
And then a couple issues.
I read 0
and
Year.
then it goes to Endgame, and then Gordon Batman, and all those comics are just so good. Nico,
oh my god, you actually remember it. Let's go. You just like me.
I love those. I love those issues.
Again,
I said I was gonna read Court of Owls on a whim, right? Like I just read it, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm going through the whole run, and I spent like a solid 8 hours straight in my room just reading comics all day.
Yeah, because the New 52 had probably the best understanding I think I've ever seen for Batman.
Mm-hmm. No, Scott Snyder he wrote Black Mirror too, and Black Mirror is great.
Yeah. They really killed it.
I did read that one.
Yeah, you read Black Mirror, you read 0 Year, and this guy got a whole run of Batman, and it's so good.
It's so good. It's really good.
Actually,
I really
so good.
All right, going back.
Oh yeah, Marvel.
Okay,
I got some things for the next one.
Yes. Next one. Basically, next one we got Captain America, the first Avenger, coming in at 80%, which is 1% above the last three.
Okay, since I thought Captain America was cool in the comics, but kind of lame, just because I don't know, he kind of just needs some modernization. This film does a really good job actually kind of just modernizing the Captain America that we knew and loved from the comics. Again, another film that I love or like a lot. But I don't have much to say because I already know it's just a good film.
I think it's kind of perfect. Like I think it's kind of perfect. Honestly, I fucking love this movie.
Yeah, it's a perfect Captain America film. I don't think there's really much to really say about it.
Yeah, I think 80's too low. Yeah. Definitely too low.
I'm just gonna say right now. For me personally, the Captain America trilogy are my 3 favorite movies in the MCU. Like nothing.
I entirely get that. The Captain America trilogy is fantastic.
Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie, and nothing comes close to it.
Winter Soldier is, bro. I don't know how to say this, but Winter Soldier is such a good recontextualization of like, fuck. I gotta wait to say it, but yeah, we'll say it when we get to it.
Yeah, that and Civil War. I love those movies.
Yeah,
it's First Avenger too. All 3 of them are so good.
Yeah, also having to wait till the Civil War. When you said your favorite action in an Avengers movie was Age of Ultron, I was going to say mine's Civil War. That's my favorite Avengers movie.
No. Age of Ultron is definitely up there. It's. I said it's one of my favorites. Not. It's top 5 maybe. Yeah,
I would say I think outside of story, I think the Captain America movies, especially Winter Soldier and Civil War, probably have the best like action in the movies too.
Oh, by far.
Just like the hand-to-hand combat with Captain America, especially in Winter Soldier. All the choreography is just so good.
I gotta say that the way they did Civil War did Spider-Man is still my favorite version of how to do an on-screen Spider-Man. But we'll get to that.
We'll get there.
Perfectly fair rating. I probably placed it a little higher, maybe 85.
I'd put it at 90.
I would put it at
or 100, 90 or 100 personally. I put it way up
90 to 100. I would put it up.
Yeah, I'm with them.
This film is great. Like I genuinely have like very little criticism for it. It's probably in my top 10 favorite MCU films still to this day. And I still love this film. I still love watching it again. It's just such a good modernization of Captain America. That's literally all Captain America needed. A modernization and like another interesting thing to add to his character. That's all he needed. And this film did it perfectly. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Alright. Next, we got at 83%. We got the first Ant-Man movie.
Okay, first I think this is a decently fair rating. Again, probably another 85 for me.
Higher. Higher.
This movie.
No, Ant-Man 1's great.
So much fucking fun to watch.
I thought I was gonna have to come in here defending this movie because everyone on the internet keeps calling it bad. It is not higher than that.
Great.
Yeah, this movie's awesome.
I have so much fun watching this film.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's so
the comedy is perfect.
I'm gonna say I don't know about you guys, but I'm also updating my own Marvel little tier list thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys are gonna have yours, but
I realized I only actually did mine for phase 3 and 4. I still need.
After this episode's over, we can like share.
Hell yeah!
I think having Scott Lang be the main Ant-Man and
that
I don't know if you guys know this, but like Hank Pym is like probably the most common Ant-Man that you see in the comics.
Right.
I thought you were gonna say it's because he beats his wife, but
I'm gonna make a joke about that. But because Scott Lang, by the time that this movie came out, he was mostly pretty fresh. Like he was like about 3 or 4 years old, which is really young for comic book standards. So I don't think it was.
No. I think it was. I want to say he was around in the 2000s because I want to say he became Ant-Man in. I remember because I was a dork like kid in like when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I had this big book with all the Avengers in it, and Scott Lang was mentioned there, and that book came out in like 2007. So I know it was like he wasn't relatively new, but maybe after reboot, but. It
because you got to remember that
Yeah.
this like he came after like 2 other Ant-Mans, but those Ant-Mans were really bad
Yeah,
people.
he was the third Ant-Man, I think.
Well, yeah, third to fourth because
Third or fourth.
because the other Ant-Man, he kind of died like the first day of him being Ant-Man before getting replaced, and yeah, blah blah blah. But
it's
yeah,
he was New Avengers era Ant-Man. I don't remember if he stayed Ant-Man, but I know like he had just become Ant-Man around like 2007.
yeah, he was like he still like was pretty young though, like at least 6-7 years I think
Yeah.
into him like becoming like a new Ant-Man, which is very 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 young for comic book standards.
Yeah.
So I think
he was not a legacy character.
Yeah, so I think using him as like the newer Ant-Man Furious film was perfect because he practically was a blank slate at that point. He had a bit of a charm to him, but this film practically made it like 10 times better.
And in terms of like the actual origin, for the most part, that he stole Hank Pym's suit. He's like just got out of prison. He's a thief. He's got a daughter from a divorce. It's like all that is from the comics.
Yep.
It stays pretty true to him, and it's like he wants to be better, and he cares about his daughter. And I love Ant-Man 1.
Yeah, like God, I love this film. I still to this day have so much fun watching this film. This film does such a great job, and I also like how this film doesn't take itself way too seriously because literally the concept of Ant-Man is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, what even is there to say that hasn't already been said?
Yeah.
But I'll let Nico talk this one also because this is like in his top 3 probably I think MCU movies.
I love this movie so fucking much. Like, okay, so here's the thing. This movie came out like 2015, so I think I can't remember if it was this or a different movie, but like I don't think I saw it, but because this is when I moved school. Was I friends with you by then, Liam? 2015.
Yeah, we watched this movie together.
Okay, no, we didn't. That was the thing. You and the others went to watch it because I think I was busy or out of town. So I never saw Ant-Man when it came out, but I heard about it, right? But all my friends went and saw it without me, so I was like, I didn't really feel engaged to go see it on my own. Like, so I just never got around to it, right? So I didn't get around to watching Ant-Man or Ant-Man 2 until 2020, I think. I think it was 2020 was the first time I watched this movie.
Dude, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that summer. And then, because I think that was the year that was the year I did my MCU binge. And I hit all the movies that I hadn't seen before. Yeah, I didn't watch Ant-Man for 5 years, so I just kind of went in with like no expectations. I hadn't because I never talked to anybody about it. This is like when I only just started using Twitter, so it's not like I knew internet opinions. I had nothing. I had no expectations going into Ant-Man, and I fucking loved it so much. Like I had such a fun time watching it. I was like, "This movie's so fucking good. Why did nobody tell me about it?
Why did it took you so long to watch it?"
Because I just didn't. I don't know. I was just kind of like not as super hooked to the MC. Like, it's not that I didn't care, but it's like, if I missed the movie, I was like, I missed the movie. Unless it was something I was anticipating, I didn't like care all that much. I didn't watch Guardians 1 in theaters. Like, I only watched 2 in theaters.
You watched fucking none of these lists apparently.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, Guardians.
We watched like all of these together. I always
Guardians 1. I wasn't there yet. I don't think I was friends with y'all yet.
Because of the time of the year Avengers movies would come out, I was always way too busy to be able to go to them. I always had to do something.
I wasn't there for Captain Marvel either, so that was also
I was there for Captain Marvel.
My first viewing was 2020, and it was whatever. But yeah, I fucking love Ant-Man 1. I don't know. I think one of the it's fine. It's just fine, campy movie. It's fun to watch. Scott's great. The humor's great.
It's a superhero heist movie.
Yeah, it's a superhero heist movie. And then went back when like the special effects were pretty good. Like the shrinking in that movie was so good, so well done, so cool. And even like the simple villain worked in its favor really well. I think it's just a fun time. Like I can watch this movie time and time again, and I'll always have a fun time with it, and that's just kind of why it's so high up for me. This and I guess his part in Infinity War
Civil
Endgame
War.
put Scott. Oh, and yeah, Civil War put him
Yeah,
like
no,
this
he's
way
great in
up for
Civil
me.
War.
So yeah, I love this movie. I think 83 is too low. That's just me. I mean, I can get it. Like that's still high. 83 is still high, but for me, this movie is like a 10. Just a 10 for me. High 9, 10.
83 for an anime movie is crazy. I did not expect it to get that high. Because nobody knew about Ant-Man until this film came out.
That's my 2 cents on Ant-Man.
Awesome.
All right, next. I gotta scroll back up. We got Black Panther Wakanda Forever at 84.
My time. All right, here I go. I love Black Panther comics. This film is really good film. Top 10 MC movies? Yeah, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It's like 11, 12 probably for me. This is a fair rating, to be honest. Well, actually, no, I probably placed it a little higher. Probably like 87, 86. But yeah, this is a great film. A lot of things have already been said about it. A lot of black people take a lot of pride in this film, including myself. Like, man, when you're black, this. I don't know how to describe it, but like, that scene where like the mother is like mad because she lost Jerry. Like that hits you in your soul. Like you could like feel that pain, like in your soul whenever you watch it. And it actually does talk about like great conflicts that actually does happen in the black community, such as like us constant because we take so much pride in the fact that like even though because this is also like talking about like shit that actually does happen. We take so much pride in the fact that like we're oppressed that even like other oppressors, we have to feel like we have to constantly fight against them of who's more oppressed. When in reality, we should just be fighting over. In reality, we should just be fighting together because that what brings like, yes, the people that are quote unquote oppressed together. It has like a lot of commentary like that I could easily talk about for hours. But that would be like that diverging less from the movie and more about like the messages that it was able to tell. Namor is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, he was my favorite part of this movie.
Like, bro, I do not like Namor in the comics at all. He's another Tony Stark case for me. I do not like anything about him at all. He's a horrible character, horrible design. Like I genuinely do not like anything about it. But this movie made me care about Namor. I think literally changing his race and heritage was literally for the better. It made this character so much more interesting. Shuri's arc was also fantastic. It felt like a what's the word? I don't know. I guess kind of just recontextualized like T'Challa's whole arc. I think the scene with Killmonger is still my favorite scene in this film, just because it talks about like it talked about the flaws that goes behind the philosophy of what T'Challa was trying to present himself in the first film, but also trying because Killmonger also represents a part of Black Panther that's from the comics of like how aggressive you are, and because T'Challa, even though I do like Black Panther 1, the only thing that felt off to me is how T'Challa was just not willing to kill like super fast. Because T'Challa in the comics, he will kill anyone no matter what, like super fast. No matter what. But yeah, overall, I had fun with this film. It was great. It made me super emotional. Definitely did cry like one time in this film. It was a good film. Good watch. Yeah,
I agree. Definitely put Namor up there for me in terms of favorite MCU characters because man, he was such a good antagonist.
He's got such a fucking good antagonist. He had a good motive too.
Yeah,
very good motive.
The display of power was also really, really good.
Yeah, it was, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think I probably said that everything that I already probably needed to be said. I don't think there's much else that I would say. Yeah, I also just wanted to get to the other films. That's why I'm just going fast.
Oh yeah, you're good. We got plenty.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, I'd say I agree with the score it has. I gave it around like a low 80s. That's kind of where I felt about it too.
Like 80. Yeah. That's how I feel about it. Oh yeah, Ironheart. She was pretty cool in this film. I forgot to mention that.
She was.
She was cool. My only thing is like, I don't know. This could have just been me, but like, you know, the scene where like they're running from the cops or whatever, and like she has to use the suit to fly away,
Yeah,
and she has never ever test flown it at all, and you know she just
that was
kind of just
yeah.
does it, and I'm just like,
That was so
okay,
weird to me.
I guess.
I also think not like making Ironheart not have like any kind of relation to like Tony Stark still kind of just felt a little weird to me. Like you mean tell me that like you did all this and you still have like you have like no inspiration from Tony Stark?
Yeah,
I thought that was a little weird for me just because even though I do think it's great because you know she's able to have her own character,
right.
but you could at least just say that like she had some kind of inspiration from Tony Stark to make her own suit. I think that was like a good way of doing that.
If they
Um,
and of course she's getting her own show, so if they flesh her out more there, that'll definitely make up for it. But it just feels
yeah,
really
I hope
weird
they
right
do
now
that.
because they didn't give her like almost anything in this movie.
Yeah, besides that, she was like the main reason, I guess, the mother died, I guess.
Yeah, so hopefully they can flesh her out in her show.
But yeah, overall, it's a good film.
Yep. Any other thoughts?
I haven't seen it yet because
Okay.
I haven't been watching MCU movies lately, but I do want to. I've heard very good things.
Liam.
And also, you guys talking about it is like I gotta
Nah,
watch
not
it.
really.
Okay. All right, moving on. Next up at
I'm
80. You're what?
I said I didn't have any strong opinions on it.
Okay. Next up, we got
It's a tie.
85. Oh yeah, we have another tie.
Yeah.
A tie for 85% between Infinity War and Guardians 1.
Oh, it's Guardians 2.
Guardians 2.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Sorry, I'm a little blind.
All right. First of all, I just noticed that that was Infinity War, and for some reason didn't realize that it wasn't in game. And what the fuck? Second, I fucking love both of these movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
I adore these films so fucking much. Oh my god. I don't know how to describe it, but these films have so much watchability to them.
Oh yeah.
Especially these two. Especially Infinity War to me. Like Infinity War really did feel like just this big epic event of everything that was built up at that point. And Guardian just felt like such a heartwarming sequel to the first film.
Oh
It
yeah.
was just beautiful, man.
I love the development. The character development in 2 is so good.
Yeah.
It really did make me feel like I was just a part of that family, man. It made me like care about them even more than I already did.
Yeah. Especially with Peter and fucking Gamora and Nebula and Rocket. Even Rocket.
It was just beautiful. God, Peter's development was great, man. I really do like the idea that these guys are awful people too, or they were awful people that are trying to like redeem themselves. I think that also makes it hit more like way harder, makes it feel more relatable because not every person's like a perfect ideal person. And oh god, I just fucking love this film, man.
Yeah, same with that and Infinity War. I don't really feel like there's
Yeah,
much more to say. These are both
great movies.
high up movies.
I don't think I could literally add anything to Infinity War that hasn't literally already been said.
Yeah, no, Infinity War's
Yeah.
just great. I think I'm still angry. Like the one thing I won't get over with and this I guess I could. I'm trying to think about if I should bring this up now or wait until we get to Endgame. I'll wait until we get to Endgame to bring it up, but there's just something about Infinity War and that I want to say that the one thing I don't like about those movies, but I'll get to that later. Other than that, I fucking love it.
I'll wait. I have something to say, but I'll wait till Endgame.
Fucking seeing the quips between Doctor Strange and Tony were really great. And I fucking love the thing that the nanobot suit was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And other than that, yeah. Oh yeah, fucking Loki died. That shit scene was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The opening scene was just fucking nuts.
Yeah. No, that was like holy shit, what a way to start a movie.
Yeah, a really, really good start.
You guys know that image of like the black guy where he's like shocked And that was literally me in the theater and watching that shit. I was like, nigga, what? I was terrified, bro. Not terrified, but I was just like, wow, just like that? Just like that?
Yeah,
I was flabbergasted.
I was
God.
actually.
In the final, I say final, but like the final confrontation between where it just came like it was just down to Tony and Thanos at the end. That shit was so good. Like he was
So
giving it his all, man.
My man was getting absolutely shitted on, bruh.
And then Peter killed everyone. Where's Gamora?
Why did Peter do that, bro?
Don't do that, bro. Like you just fucked the universe. All right. Well, aside from that,
he just lose.
Yeah, this will show you, Thanos. Take that.
it punches him, undoes hypnosis.
He just leaves.
Good job.
God, bro. That shit kills me now. I really cannot go back to watching Infinity War after the memes. Well, I can still take it seriously, but holy hell. Any Thanos thing is hilarious to me now.
Every single Thanos scene is a meme. All of them. Literally all of them.
Bro.
I haven't seen those movies since they went in theaters. I'm scared.
Oh, God. When I rewatched Infinity War with Nico last year, like, Nico can confirm this. I laughed at every single Thanos scene.
It was so funny.
All of them were a fucking meme. I laughed at every single one. It made me laugh so many times.
I'm just thinking about it now. Just all of the fucking frames. Oh my god. I think you'll find our will is equal to yours. Our.
I can watch that film again now because I would just be laughing uncontrollably like last time.
He's just so funny.
Okay, what's next?
All right, moving on. Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 at 87.
Huh?
Fuck this. Fuck this shit. Hard disagree. This shit is so wrong. This shit is so fucking wrong.
This is
the first Ant-Man. That first Ant-Man should be up here, not this one.
Is it bad to say that this was like
in my screen?
This movie's
is it bad
so
to say that this was like in my bottom 5 MCU films? I don't think it's a half.
I'm right now literally constructing my list.
It's in my bottom 5.
Literally bottom 6. It is my 6th least.
I literally don't think anyone could really name the villain after watching this movie once.
I can't. No, I can't remember them.
Ghost.
I remembered Ghost. I just thought you meant the other guy that was with the
They
scientist.
wasted Lawrence Fishburne.
Bro, Nico, I forgot the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh yeah, no, I was Goliath, and they just gloss over that, and it's like, hello?
You know, even before the Ghost, like I remember this was like, I don't know, a few months ago or something. It was some recent time where I was like, I think it was in our superhero chat. And Akira was like, I'd never seen Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, so I gave him like a brief synopsis of what the movie was about, and I was like, okay, so yeah, there's this ghost girl, and they gotta try and fucking stop her. And then like while I was just like typing it, I remembered the plot point of them trying to get Wasp's mom back from the quantum realm because I forgot it was a plot point. Because like it just
watching that in theaters, it was just so fucking boring.
It was boring. Like nothing happens, man. I don't know. It just didn't feel fun.
Milk toast.
It's just nowhere near the first film. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, and my first viewing of this was directly after my first viewing of the first film. So like, it was so hard to finish it. I was just so bored the whole time.
That change must have been so jarring to you, Nika.
It was. I was like, that first movie was so good. What the fuck happened here?
Oh man, I still remember. I watched the film in the theater with my brother. He thought it was good. I was like ripping this movie apart. I was like, wow, this is the movie ever.
Yeah, no, this movie sucks. And then, hey, we've got the next movie after it, Captain Marvel. That was the next MCU movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. They came out around the same time. It was
no, yeah, because those two movies were supposed to lead into Endgame.
Yep. So I genuinely think that's the reason these films were, especially Ant-Man and the Wasp, was rated so high.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's hey,
Because
no,
they're
because of one like post-credit scene or something.
Yeah, that too.
And I hadn't even seen Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp when I watched Infinity War. It barely mattered.
This film should literally not be placed as high. This film is
This
very
is a
boring.
travesty.
Yeah, no, this should not be up here. I
Some
disagree with it.
kind of very fun, but I think it's just fun because of like Ant-Man as a whole. When it comes to actions, it's kind of funny. Just go big, go small. Like it's very.
I don't remember this movie being funny.
This is why I'm trusting the audience score with Quantumania and not the critics.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it tomorrow. I'm scared.
Yeah, good luck. I'm seeing it Saturday with Liam.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what I think about it because I didn't watch Loki, so I don't know anything about Kang.
There's no direct ties to Loki. Like
Except
he's just introduced in Loki, but like
Okay. Yeah, I know more than enough about Kang.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, Loki's just like foreshadowing. There's nothing like too big for at least that film.
He's a guy now.
Yeah, like hi, he's here.
I'm Kang the Conqueror.
Yep.
Those things are great though. I was like, wow.
Moving on.
All right, next.
Next at 89%, we got Doctor Strange.
Now this I low key agree with. I personally probably put like 85 for me, but
yeah, it isn't a 90, but it's good.
Yeah, I'd say it's slightly lower, but it's good. Good movie. I like it a lot. I've rewatched it quite a few times actually.
Fun.
I need to I stopped at it for my rewatch, so
I need to watch it. The Bargain is such a great scene.
Oh yeah, I fucking love the time stone loop so much. And he's like, oh fuck, what was the line again? He's like, "You'll never win," and he's like, "No, but I can lose over and over."
It's hard,
and that makes you my prisoner.
Yeah, it's hard to write a smart guy outsmarting somebody like who is smart, like also really smart. It's hard to do that, and they did it. So I'm okay with Dormammu not being as cool as he is in the comics because that scene alone was really fucking cool.
Yeah,
like that. And I don't really care that much for Dormammu in general, so I was just like, yeah, this is good enough. Good enough for me. This is like the perfect way to adapt Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think that this movie. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. With score wise, like, if I were to go lower, it would be only very slightly because I think it's really strong. The narrative structure is really good. It's paced really well. There's a lot of scenes I really like, especially when the Ancient One is dying in the hospital and the conversation that Strange has with her in the astral forms was really good. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah.
I think the fucking special effects are incredible. For all the magic, it's fucking insane. I love Benedict. Yeah, I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange. Really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
Of course, the Dormammu scene.
Born to play the role.
Everything about this movie just solid. I think it's just great, fun watch.
I forgot Matt Nicholson was the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah,
he's just kind of like the one guy that's like the guy for Dormammu.
Yeah, they're to summon him.
Yeah, but it was fun. It's interesting that they picked him because in the comics he works. Kaesulus, I looked at his name. Kaesulus works for Baron Mordo, and not like the other way around.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I guess that's everything we have to say. Next film.
Yeah, we got a trio, and I have some choice words here.
Yeah, we got another controversial trio. So we have a three-way tie for 90, two of which are the second and third Captain America films, and the other is Far From Home.
I'm gonna say I think Winter Soldier and Civil War should be at the top of this list because they
so high.
I love Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Like Far From Home
there's one movie
Far From Home is way too high.
Be at the top.
Far From Home, baby, yes sir.
Yep, yeah, Far From Home. That's
it. No, I do not like Far From Home. I don't like that movie. I do not like it. I hate it.
Oh my
Bro, the
God.
scene, fucking, I could go on about this movie, but the scene with Peter fucking changing in front of that, like, fucking shield woman, and then Flash comes in, takes the picture, like, oh my God, bro, look at Peter. Like, why? That wasn't
Like,
funny. That scene was, like, just kind of stupid. And then he
It was.
almost blows him up with, like, a missile. Like, okay?
I actually love Tom Holland's Spider-Man like a lot. I really think he's a really good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
MCU Spider-Man sucked for the first 2 movies.
That was alright
okay.
in Homecoming.
I like Homecoming a lot.
Homecoming
personally,
was
but-
Far From Home was just, my goodness, what the fuck?
Yeah, Homecoming was okay. Far From Home was
Yeah.
I didn't like.
Well, the thing for me, like, but Far From Home, right? I remember like first watching this film in theaters, right? I thought it was a good film, right? Then I think it was around the time when No Way Home was gonna come out. It was still like a year away. And I was like, you know what? Was Far From Home really as good as I remembered? I went back and rewatched it. This shit was way bad, way worse than I remembered. Holy hell! Like, what were they cooking? To this day, one of the things that I still kind of find weird is that they don't really acknowledge how Peter like fell in love with MJ. It just kind of just happens with like no actual build up from Homecoming. Besides, I guess like a small hint, but it's very small. It was more implied that he wanted to be friends with her. So I was just like, so this just came out of nowhere to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I got a funny story about Far From Home actually. We were watching it in
Yeah.
theaters, and there was a thunderstorm going on. And right at the scene where MJ says, "Oh, like you're Spider-Man," and then like right when that happened, the power went out, and we had to wait for like 10 minutes for it to come back on. Everybody had to go and yell at the guy running the projector because the movie had kept playing, and we had to have him figure out exactly like where in the film we had stopped at. So it was like, "Oh, go back here." And he's like, they're like, "No, go back a little further," and he would go too far. It's like, "Oh no, you skipped it."
So fucking funny, actually. Holy shit.
Bro,
So
that
funny.
that sounds like one of the best theater experiences of all time.
It was real. It was like being in high school, like when the teacher was like had like a documentary going. It's like, "Oh, you went back too far."
God, that sounds so fucking funny.
This movie sucks.
It's I don't know. Even though I guess a lot of people don't agree with me, this has always been probably my least favorite Spider-Man film to watch. Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't like watching it.
I get having the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 lower than this film. But look, the thing about those two films that I can still watch those films and like fucking laugh at like how bad some of the shit is in that film. This movie, I cannot say the same thing. I literally do not have as much fun watching this film as I do Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. Which is why it's still my least favorite Spider-Man film. And again, so a lot of people were saying that Peter just felt like Iron Man's sidekick. This film does not do any favor of trying to defend that. They literally have the Iron Man theme playing when he makes his suit. Yeah,
it reinforces it.
Like and I just like the why was that funny? Like it did not help defend that argument at all. It just made it worse.
Yeah.
Overall,
Mysterio also sucks. Mysterio sucks.
Like yeah. Wait, you said Mysterio?
Yep.
How? Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Mysterio was cool to me, but I think the only reason I thought find him cool was just because Jake Gyllenhaal. I like Jake Gyllenhaal a lot.
That's fair. But he should have been Bruce
Jake
Campbell.
Gyllenhaal is funny.
Should have been Bruce Campbell.
True.
If it was Bruce Campbell, that would be so. This movie would be 10 times more funnier. Bruce Campbell actually makes a lot more sense because Mysterio is a lot older in the comics.
Yeah,
funnier.
Plus, he was literally supposed. Bruce Campbell was literally supposed to actually be the original Mysterio for Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
Mid.
Yeah, so that movie's mid. Then we got Winter Soldier and Civil War tied with it for some reason, but yeah, those movies are fucking great. Goes without saying.
Yeah, those are peak.
Yeah.
Not number one though, but peak.
Top 5. by far.
Yeah, sure. They're my top. I think they're literally the number 2 and 3.
Winter Soldier.
Wait, I get to talk about this now. Actually, this is still my absolute favorite way of how to do Spider-Man. Like Civil War, like his introduction absolutely killed it. Teenager, he doesn't know what's going on. And his actual scenes in this film were actually very, very fucking funny.
Yeah,
it genuinely felt like Spider-Man. And on top of that, this is how I think this is what they did perfectly. They still made him a very mysterious character to everyone else. That's how Spider-Man is in the comics. Nobody really knows his identity. He's one of the rare comic book characters in Marvel to keep it like a secret.
I was getting
they did that. Perfect, beautiful.
I was getting the same vibes when I was reading, and I'm still not that far in. I'm only like 70 issues in, but for Ultimate Spider-Man, like I was noticing the similarities for that in Civil War and how he is there, especially like when he meets the X-Men for the first time. Like he had like the same, he acted the exact same way with meeting everybody else. You know, it's kind of there, awkward. Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah, like. In Civil War, you could definitely see that they took Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, they actually took the Peter side of Ultimate Spider-Man. And that was definitely inspired for Civil War. But for Homecoming and Far From Home, they way more Miles. Like they practically took everything from what Miles had in the comics. Like, the Asian best friend, the fact that his suit is from a rich person, like S.H.I.E.L.D., and, Tony Stark, et cetera, et cetera. Practically, like when they say based off the Ultimate Comics or like Ultimate Peter, I always get confused. I'm like, you guys have way more stuff, if not everything, from Ultimate Miles, which makes it like very weird when I go back and like rewatch that. But yeah, but back to the films. Civil War, action. Oh god, beautiful. Oh my god, that scene where Captain America and Bucky are beating the fuck out of Iron Man. Well, they all got fucking shit on in that fight, but still beautiful, perfect. Winter Soldier, beautiful too. I love that. I love this film like just as much. Still probably in my top 5, top 6 favorite MCU films. This film just does a good job at recontextualizing Steve Rogers. Like he went from being kind of a low key boring character in the comics, and they actually made him very interesting by like actually adding layers on how he feels about not being able to go to the past. Now he feels outdated from everyone else. Like, Jesus is perfect. But I'm just getting my thoughts out of the way because I know you guys probably had a lot more to say. But yeah.
Yeah, I got some stuff to say. First, I want to say for Civil War.
I'm gonna mute real quick. But yeah.
I love. I actually really like Zemo as an antagonist. Just even though his like motivation is kind of meh, but just the way he kind of just fucks with everything.
He's acted really well.
He does it really like. I still think about like with the one line when he finally meets with Captain America at the like Soviet base, and he's like, now that I look, it's like talking about how he's so perfect. He's like, now that I look at you, it's like I see a little green in the blue of your eyes. It's nice to finally notice a flaw, like that kind of thing. Like trying to go and show that like. These heroes aren't as great as everybody acts like they are.
Yeah.
Like trying to say that he's actively showing that they cause chaos and destruction and stuff because of his family dying in Sokovia, and it's like I get it. It's like everybody praises them when all these innocent people get caught in the crossfire, and in the end, he's not exactly wrong, but the way he goes about it is like obviously like fucked up. But I just love the conflict between Cap and Tony. The fights are great. I love Cap working with Bucky now that he finally remembers after Winter Soldier. And then Winter Soldier, I just love the dynamic between Cap and Bucky, and also him kind of dealing with the fact that he thought that S.H.I.E.L.D., like, realizing that S.H.I.E.L.D. has just been corrupt this entire time, and it challenges everything that he believed beforehand.
Yep.
Like, he has to just kind of like with these are two stories that kind of challenge what Captain America's believed in the whole time. And it's like it does both of those really well, like to the point where he gives up his shield and he doesn't really want to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore after that point. Like after it's all fucked up, and like him finally getting through to Bucky by just letting Bucky beat the shit out of him, and it's like, no matter what, I'm with you to the end of the line. And it's like, that's what gets him to snap and remember. It's just, there's a reason they brought the Russos on to do Infinity War and Endgame, because they knew how to tell a damn good story.
Another thing I have to say is changing Bucky from being like a child soldier to like just Captain America's right-hand man was a much better change to me.
Yeah, just like as his best friend, not like his sidekick.
Yeah, it's like his right-hand man, like his best friend.
Not a kid that was conscripted. He was like the one that that Steve looked up to before he got the serum, because Bucky was the one that could always do everything. He was the skinny one. Bucky was the strong military soldier who
exactly.
Yeah, he wanted to be just like him, and then he was able to. And then after losing him in First Avenger, he was able to kind of bring him back, like save him from the brink at the end of Winter Soldier, and then Civil War is just him trying to protect Bucky. Because he acknowledges that what Bucky did was wrong, but he also wasn't in control of his actions. And God, I love these movies. I could go on and on. I've seen them more than any other MCU movies personally. Like these two specifically, I could watch forever. They're great.
All right, next, another tie. For 91%, we have a tie between the first Avengers movie and Shang-Chi.
One of these doesn't belong.
Yes. Yeah. And it's Avengers. Sorry, it's not very good.
Yeah, sorry guys. You guys didn't see that one coming, huh?
Yeah, Avengers.
Avengers, if you watch it, actually like a horrible movie. It's horribly problematic. Everybody's like incredibly homophobic. It's like sexist.
That's a good thing. Huh?
Yeah. What's up?
Anyways, yeah, Shang-Chi should definitely be lower.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it, but it's another Phase 4 movie.
Shang-Chi is
it's one of the better Phase 4 movies.
Yeah, Shang-Chi for the first half is like, whoa, holy shit, I forgot I'm watching a Marvel movie. And then the second half is, yeah, I'm watching a Marvel movie.
It's definitely a Marvel movie. Yeah.
It's fun though. I had a good time watching it.
I definitely do agree that should be high, yeah, but it's a little bit too high for me. Yeah.
Put like an 80.
I think
I'd put it an 80 personally.
Yeah. Like 80,
it's only gotten a little bit lower, but only because I realized that like the choreography was amazing and shit like that. But outside of that, it didn't really have much to give.
Yeah.
And the acting was good, although I hate like half the characters too. Like, I love half the characters, but I hate the other half. That's just the movie in general. Is I'm just sitting there like, wow, it's so cool, and then like I'm like, wow, it's so not.
This movie set up She-Hulk.
So epic.
Oh my god, I forgot.
I have to watch She-Hulk at some point for Daredevil, but I'm scared because I've heard horrible things.
It's I'm not gonna go into She-Hulk right now.
As a She-Hulk fan, I have mixed opinions.
I actually loved Cosmonaut's opinion on it, and it kind of swayed me on it a little bit. Although I think the show as a whole, it basically fits into the rest of Phase 4 as a like it feels bad on purpose kind of vibe. And I think She-Hulk's a character that you can kind of do that with to make it like this weird, like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's just weird. Even at its best, it's still weird. And that's kind of what ticks me off about it.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, at least, sorry.
I gotta know though, did the CGI get better after that trailer?
Only a little.
Yeah, no, because when the trailer came out, it looked god awful.
But yeah, I agree.
But
She-Hulk
I don't know. It doesn't take me out of it.
Yeah, I agree though. She-Hulk is like one of the rare Marvel characters that you could like make an easy comedy with. So that's why I don't think it's as bad as like other people say it is. But it's also not fantastic or anything. But
it's got Daredevil in it, and that's all.
It does have Daredevil in it. They ruined it. He had sex, and I just can't accept that.
I'm just saying, for all the people that say that, he had sex in Daredevil too.
Don't say that. Don't ruin
Daredevil. Daredevil has. Daredevil is literally one of the like.
No,
most,
the joke
like,
is that he's
well-
blind, but he pulls. He's able to pull more women than Foggy. That's the thing. He's.
I'm not. I'm literally not even joking. Daredevil sleeps with a girl at least once in every single run he's in.
Yeah.
Or yeah, every single run.
No,
he has.
absolutely. No, that's.
It's one of his most well-known things he's known for.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, Shang-Chi, it's good. Probably like I put it in the 80s personally, like 80, 81, 82. But it's a fun watch. Avengers, the first Avengers movie, still fun. I still love it. Still fun
I'd
to watch.
say it has that score for a reason because rewatching that movie is still really, really good.
I fucking love
Yep.
Avengers 1, baby.
Avengers 1 is great.
Avengers one's great.
It deserves all of the praise that it gets. Absolutely. Like it's a good movie. It's a great little like collaboration with everybody. It's funny. The action is great. I love Avengers 1.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much more to say about Avengers 1. Hulk beating the shit out of Loki, still top 5 MCU scenes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's true.
No, by far. That scene is still funny to me to this day. Never gets old. Avengers 1, yeah, it's a fun. It was very fun. I think it's probably the peak of the characters. Not peak, but like peak interaction to me of like them like being like friends beside Age of Ultron.
The dynamic is really good.
Yeah, you can feel the tension. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Okay, moving on to the next tie at 92%. Oh, what's up, Liam?
I was gonna say we do have to mention Avengers 1 does have one of the best post credits.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh,
yeah.
The shawarma scene.
I love shawarma.
Yeah, that might be the best post credit scene.
It's the best one.
That's personally my favorite by far.
It's so funny because the whole shop's fucking destroyed and that they found a table.
Yeah.
This is what I wish Titans were, like Teen Titans. Like they all offer shawarma. The show is not like that. Makes you sad.
The best part about it was that they referenced the fucking shawarma place earlier in the movie, and then they followed through on it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, next movies. Another really, really weird tie. 92% tie between Guardians 1 and Spider-Man Homecoming.
I would say these movies don't compare, but I still love both of them. But I love Guardians a lot more.
Yeah, Guardians definitely clears Homecoming. Guardians 1's just so good. So good. I love the soundtrack so much. Oh my god, I love the soundtrack for the Guardians movies.
Oh no. Doing a podcast.
Guardians? I think the characters, the actors are all really good. I think like them all getting together in the first movie was done really well, especially with like the fucking jailbreak scenes really good.
For sure.
Yondu's amazing as always, as he is in both movies. Ronan was pretty cool. Pretty good threat for that movie, especially the fucking dance off at the end. I'm distracting you, you idiot. And then the power of friendship with the Power Stone scene.
Yeah.
That whole movie's just great.
It's such a good movie.
Good comedy, good writing, good acting.
Yep.
Peter fucking took a disabled guy's leg.
Yeah, he's like, and he's like, "What do you need this for?" He's like, "Oh, I thought it'd be really funny just watching you kind of hobble around."
Fucking hell, seems so good.
No, I don't talk about this often, but the first Guardians movie is still to this day my favorite MCU film.
Oh, really?
To me, yeah,
it's up for me, but
I don't talk about it often, but I think the film just does everything to me like perfectly. I don't know, just done. That's a good lead up to Thanos, and the cast and characters are just so good to me. I never get tired of watching that film because of that. And I like that all of them are really well. They're all meant to not be like good people that end up to learn that to be good, they have to change themselves by all working together. Like, I could probably go on for hours talking about why the first Guardians movie is my favorite MCU film, but then we would just kind of be here for a good like 30 minutes just discussing, dissecting each detail. But all I gotta say is Groot. Groot is the GOAT. Peak fiction. But yeah,
About Homecoming is tied with it, so I disagree with that. But that's pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
I think I already said it. I don't think Homecoming's that high. I don't think it's bad or anything. I just think it's okay.
Yeah, so
I think
definitely.
as a Spider-Man fan, Homecoming is good. I like it. It's a fun watch. Is it better than Guardians though? No.
No,
Probably
Yeah.
like
it's not better than
Mhm.
Avengers either.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not better than Avengers for sure. I don't think it's better than anything on the '90s list except Shang-Chi. Better than Shang-Chi, probably.
I really gave it like an 89, 88.
I put it with the
Oh.
80s, honestly.
Yeah.
I
No,
put
it
it
goes down there.
really high 70s, low 80s. That's where I put it.
I put in like the high 80s. But that's just I'm biased
Yeah,
towards Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man.
If it wasn't Spider-Man, I'd probably be a lot lower.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
It's all right. It's definitely not a 91 though. Definitely not with Guardians one.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We're
moving
here.
up. Moving up
Yeah,
to
speaking of
the
Spider-Man
Another
houses,
another tie between Ragnarok and No Way Home for 93%.
what the fuck are you talking about?
What?
You're inaudible.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
your mic's
shit.
been cutting out, Nico.
You,
Hold
you,
on.
you were like that was you.
Is it good now?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, for
I
now.
had push to talk on. Like I was holding it down. I don't know why it does that.
It was funny. Don't worry. I didn't
Okay.
laugh.
Next, if I'm audible, we have tie for 93. Ragnarok and No Way Home.
Okay,
I-
so
Wait. What did we say about No Way Home real quick? I wasn't looking.
do we want to start with Ragnarok? Because I don't know. What do we want to start
Both
with?
of these deserve their ratings. First of all, that's out of the way. Like both of them definitely deserve this score.
Yeah,
really, I think Ragnarok's lower, but I do love Ragnarok.
I
fucking
think
love it.
Ragnarok's good here. But yeah, let's
and-
start with Ragnarok then. Why don't we start with that?
It's my favorite Thor film by a long shot.
yeah.
Nothing, I think, really comes close to being able to balance. For me, probably in the MCU in general, probably besides like maybe Iron Man 1 and Guardians, I don't think nothing really comes close for like those three films that like does a perfect job of balancing comedy and like action with serious scenes. Well, besides maybe Guardians 2 and a couple other films, but this film is just so much fun. It's fun, it's deep, it's heartfelt, and it doesn't try to like stray away from like being super like comedic. It takes itself seriously enough to where I'm still invested in the story. The only time I think, yeah, literally the only criticism for this film is actually just from comic fans because we thought that they were going to adapt like Planet Hulk, since that's what Age of Ultron was leading to. And yeah, Planet Hulk is one of the best Hulk stories of all time by a long shot. But again, this isn't the Hulk film; it's just a film focused on Thor. So I get why they didn't adapt that.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't think I have as much shit to say about this one as probably like Nika, but I still love this film. Still in my top 10 favorite MCU films for
Which
me.
film?
Thor.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Yeah, I fucking love it. It's literally just again, to Love and Thunder. Like they could have had an easy banger if they just used the same like balancing of story to comedy. I don't understand what the comedy lean in was all about with Love and Thunder because it wasn't even the best part of Ragnarok. It was just a good part. Like the Ragnarok story was so fucking good that I'm just like, why? How is this the same director?
Ian, I said it earlier. The thing that Ragnarok likes to do is just actually have story shit, but they have like little small moments of comedy in between to be able to balance it out properly.
It's really well
Thor: Love and
balanced.
Thunder does not do, and it makes me mad.
Yeah, like the fucking scene with Odin dying and talking to Loki and Thor, so good. I fucking adore that scene so much. That's one of my favorite scenes. And as well as the final scene with where he's getting like his shit kicked in by his sister, and he has like the in his mind he meets with his dad again, and he's like I can't do it, and he's like I can't do it without my hammer, and he's like, are you Thor, the god of hammers? And it's like, and you gotta remember who you are, bro. And then the fucking music kicks in, and I'm like, yeah. That scene is top notch.
Actually, you know what's probably my favorite joke from Ragnarok? You know that scene where Bruce fucking runs off?
Yeah, no, he just crashes into the fucking...
That scene made me laugh so, like, because I watched this film with my brother in theaters, right? He was laughing for a good 2 minutes after that scene. He was fucking
so
bawling.
He just
It was
broke
so
his
funny.
bones, bro.
Oh my god, that scene was fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah, no, my thing with Ragnarok is that somebody realized that before Marvel, Chris Hemsworth used to be really funny.
Yeah,
so he used to do comedy, so it's like realizing that, and it's like we can have him actually be funny and like entertaining, and it's like I like Thor 1, but like I understand he can be kind of boring at times, but like this was a really good Thor film. It's a lot of fun. It has a lot of emotion behind it. It's the finale is fucking awesome.
They low-key, because if I knew that Love and Thunder would be that bad, they should have just ended off with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Should not continued. But I think we got everything we had to say, right? For Ragnarok.
Next is go on, Liam.
I had a few things. I don't put it that high, even though I love Ragnarok. Mostly because I don't know. I think I rate a little bit lower on average. I wouldn't put it at a 9, but
I personally would probably put like an 89, 90.
Yeah, I put it really high because I really liked the approach they took for Thor's character. And yeah, as you said, Chris Hemsworth is so fucking funny, and they remembered he's funny. It was they're like, oh yeah, he's not only high, except that one time we decided to make him ugly for no fucking reason. They were like, he's funny too, so they made him start doing jokes, and that was the best decision they ever made until it wasn't. So I don't know how they fumbled that. Movie was really good, and I really enjoyed the story, and I love that vibe. I think Nico, you probably like the vibe too. That like I don't know, like this weird like how the soundtrack and everything is just like classic rock and whatnot, and he's just got this vibe of this like really powerful guy that like sees himself as a hero that and everyone else kind of does as well. Like I don't know, he's just so cool in Ragnarok, and I still liked him in with that vibe in Love and Thunder too. I think that's my favorite part about MCU Thor is just that he's like not a fake hero, but has the vibe of like a fake hero that just really likes classic rock.
Yeah, I think
he's authentically powerful and a good guy, but he just feels like a fucking liar.
It's definitely just because like he's like a Nordic god too, so it's like, so it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like because of him being a Nordic god that so happens to be a superhero. It's like that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's so funny.
But yeah, I love this film a lot actually. But next is No Way Home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Sure is. All right, now it's time to talk about Spider-Man biases. This is my number one.
As a huge Spider-Man fan, it's my second favorite actually.
This is my number one. I almost if there's any one movie, I don't have any of them currently out of 10. This would be the one.
Yeah,
I'm currently debating as I like when Yotaro mentioned it earlier, like making the list and everyone editing it like real time. I'm sitting here right now, like Do I bump it up?
It deserves it. It's in my top 5. I love this movie.
And the thing that I also think that I've always talked about is that like even if you like probably haven't watched the other Spider-Man films, you could still appreciate this film for what it's trying to do. Like it doesn't it doesn't overly rely on cameos and shit in order to tell a good story. It just so happens that they are a part of the story rather
It
than
helps build it up.
Yeah, rather than over rely on it. And even if like let's say you didn't let's say that even if you didn't watch like the Raimi films or the Big Spider-Man 2 or the Spider-Man duology, you could still appreciate the other Spider-Mans that are in this film for what they're trying to tell Peter. And in fact, this one does a good job at it, like making people curious about that and wanting to go watch those films.
It fixes the issue with MCU Spider-Man with that he was like Iron Man Jr. It finally goes and like it lets him be his own person, actually gives him like the drive he needs to become like truly Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's who great. He was supposed to be.
Yeah, I remember actually after this movie came out, me, Nico, and Aaron all got in a VC and we were talking about this movie after coming back from the theater for like 2 hours. You remember that, Nico?
Remember what?
After we got back from the theater, we all sat in a VC and CNP and just talked about this movie for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was like, this movie was so good.
Yeah,
I genuinely started like a whole ass superhero chat, literally because of this film coming out, and then when this film came out and everyone's seen it, we talked about this film for a good, like 3 or 4 hours.
Everyone yeah, go ahead. You finish. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't have a lot to say. I was gonna say that there was a lot to talk about. I'll get my feelings out probably last since Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. So I'll get it out of that last.
Yeah, we were our everyone like for our IRLs. Everyone met up, like Nico included. I couldn't because, like I said, with the Avengers thing, I had a massive holiday shift scheduled for me, so I had to stay behind up here in Clemson. We all live in Charleston, South Carolina. I had to stay up and work those schedules, and I was like, man, I was so lonely for an entire month. And it was so I was like, you know what, I might as well see this so that when everyone's talking about it in Discord afterwards, I could be there and be part of the conversation. I watched the fucking movie. Like I just finished all 5 days. I get off, go into the theater, and I'm so like it's packed. Parking lots filled to the fucking brim. They're spilling out into the road. And Nico knows the theater. Like, imagine how that kind of packed. Like, cars are literally backed up into the fucking gas station right next to it, packed. And I walk in. I'm alone. My seat's fucking taken. Like, I bought my ticket a week in advance. My seat's taken. So I get a random seat in the back, and I'm just sitting all alone. And I watched this movie, and I'll never forget the feeling because apologies if I am spoiling a movie that's a year and a half old, but I will be spoiling a movie that's a year and a half old. When Aunt May fucking died, there was a guy just like who was like bawling, like he was crying like ugly tears down the row from me, and I'll never forget it because the entire time I was like, all right, this is fucking sad, but you're a fucking loser. How are you crying? This is nothing. This is nothing. You're an idiot. Yeah, you're so noisy. Everyone knows. I was being super toxic. I didn't say this, but
least harmful.
This is my internal anime protagonist monologue, right? So I'm sitting there brooding, thinking that like, hey, what a fucking loser crying in a Spider-Man movie. I'm way better and superior. And then like an hour passes, and we get the cameos and everyone's like screaming in the fucking theater whenever the guys pop up. It gets to the end of the fucking movie. And Tom Holland sends everyone back, wipes like his existence off the face of planet fucking Earth. He walks up to MJ and he's like, contemplating, and then I sit there and I'm like, he's not gonna say a fucking word, is he? And sure the fuck enough, he doesn't say a fucking word. He goes back. He's got GED books. The guy's like rent's due on the 1st of every month, and he's fucking hand creating his own suit. I'm shambles, snot running down my fucking face. Yeah, like I think there's tears are everywhere. Like my clothes are dripping wet because of how much I'm ugly crying. Everyone in the theater's like this. I'm sitting there pointing at the screen like a fucking soy jack. Like that's my Spider-Man. That's who he. That's the guy. That's who I came to see.
I felt the same fucking way. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
no, that was me. That was me.
I felt so fucking emotional when I got there. I was just like, everything built up to this, man. I was so happy.
Dude, Stan Lee's 100% correct that Spider-Man being in a suit like that means anyone can feel themselves as if they were Spider-Man. That's just true. That's factual information.
Exactly.
In that moment, there's never been a superhero in history that I was ever like, he's just like me for real. It was him.
He's him. You can't beat him. You can't stop him.
Yeah, I was like, Spider-Man is the people's hero. He is us.
He's literally us.
I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna get my costume. I'm gonna be Spider-Man now. I can do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around the street just beating the fuck out of people in a Spider-Man outfit. That's
I'm
what
gonna jump off a building and I won't die.
I'll make it. I'll live. I'm fucking Spider-Man. I'm not gonna die.
Me trying to talk down Liam from the fucking roof of the building.
That was after he saw the movie, right? You had to talk
Liam,
about
it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
Live, it's another one. Don't jump off.
Liam's gonna be like, "Shut up, Harry. This is my moment."
I slowly slide a grenade out of my pocket.
I'm gonna put
Nah, bro. If I was there, I'd be gaslighting Liam. I'd be like, "Take a leap of faith, Liam."
Yeah, I'll be thinking like I'm fucking. I'll jump off and I'll do the fucking like Spider-Verse pose and then fall and splat across the ground.
It's gonna be like when Toby in Spider-Man 2 when he jumps off the building, he's like, "Oh my back!" He lands in the car.
Like, what's up, danger? And he fucking dies. It's like he's gonna pay for the medical bills. No, that's so fucking funny. Little Nico's there, just trying to talk him out of it.
You know, watching the movie alone, I think, was simultaneously the best and worst part. I've always said this, that my goal in life is to be the Makama panel from Chainsaw Man when she's crying in the theater. That is my goal, is to reach the exact same feeling she reached in the theater at all points in my life. Just watching a movie and crying like Makama did. And I think it's one of my favorite manga panels for a reason, and I was doing it in that theater to Spider-Man. And
man,
thank you, Spider-Man, for that. It was so fucking funny. I sat in the fucking parking lot because it was so packed. I was like, I might as well wait for people to leave. And then I just sat there for fucking hours, and I was like, what a fucking movie.
I still just remember it to this day, man. It just still gets me so emotional. I guess I could talk about my opinion now.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, like watching this, because this is like I think the only film I think I was able to watch with a friend. Like I brought a friend with me to go watch it. Bro, I had a horrible theater experience. Because there's a baby in there, right?
Oh,
Bro, that baby was crying like crazy. I'm just sitting over here like, who the fuck brings their infant child into a movie theater and think that they wouldn't cry? Like that is so stupid to me. Like, but despite that shit did not ruin my experience at all. Watching that movie with my friend was peak movie theater experience. I will to this day. Cause like here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You know how like when Andrew and shit showed up, right? And like people were like freaking out. For my movie theater, most of it was dead silent. So I was like me and my friend were the only ones who were like screaming at the top of our lungs over that shit. And it was peak. It was amazing. It's like Andrew and Toby, they would like show up. It was fucking fantastic. Bro, when Doc Ock showed up, like I was freaking out so much that my sister was just sitting over there like looking at me crazy because I was like shaking. I was so happy to see him. I was like, holy shit.
There was a single guy in my theater that popped off when Matt Murdock showed up. Like, just one person was like,
yeah, same actually.
Like, just one guy, and it's like, that would have been me if I'd watched Daredevil by then. That would have been me.
I walked like I saw him. I was like, oh hey, it's Daredevil, and then like one guy at like the front row was like, yes, like one dude screamed.
That guy is the MCU. That guy is Daredevil's strongest soldier right there.
Bro, the funny part is that was literally me in my movie theater. Even my friend had no idea who that was. I was literally the only one that fucking screamed, "Holy shit!" I did not see that coming.
No,
I
the moment the cane dropped down, the one guy was like,
"Oh god, that was
I was that guy. I was that guy when Bruce Campbell showed up in Multiverse. That was me. I was the one guy in the theater.
No, yeah. You were like,
that reminded me. It's kind of like a ways back, but with Multiverse of Madness, when what's his name? The guy, I forget his name. Jim from The Office. Yeah, no, John Krasinski. When John Krasinski, like the theater was dead silent when John Krasinski showed up as Mr. Fantastic in the movie. My mom just laughed like really loudly. And then everybody looked at her and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Oh my god!
She had no idea, and it was just because she watched The Office, and then she
That's the guy from The
loved John
Office.
Krasinski, and when he showed up, she just laughed.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny.
I would have also laughed.
We did laugh. We were fucking there. Like, I mean, everyone else in our theater like screamed, but like
no, it was dead silent. My mom was the one person that laughed like, really loudly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Nico. Like, I don't think we laughed loud, but I definitely was like, that's fucking hilarious.
It was really funny.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yeah, like just seeing Toby and Andrew showing up was just so good to me. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Andrew, in terms of actor and like Peter Parker, is still like my favorite Spider-Man. Well, with Tom Holland probably being a close second, but I have to see what else he does after this film. But just like seeing him back just made me so fucking happy. And they just killed him. Like they not killed him, but they killed it. Like they killed it. Like how they did characterization. Because what people have seen in No Way Home is what I've always seen in like the first two Amazing Spider-Man films. Like he's always been like this. It isn't just like a new thing. Like, he's always been like a charming like kind of guy. Because I don't know if anybody really read like Spider-Man comics from the early days, but Peter Parker's always been kind of a dickhead. Like,
yeah, no, he's a jackass.
This is one of his defining traits in the early days of the comics before he goes to college. Even when he's in college, he's still kind of a dickhead. That's always been his thing.
I think it was the fact of just Peter being a dick and also him riding a skateboard and stuff like that people were like...
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man in that movie is great, but Peter Parker is not so great in the Amazing movie.
I could get to an extent, but
Andrew kills it with both because he's just a great actor.
Yeah, because he's just a great actor. But like just seeing those two Spider-Mans back, especially Toby, just like made me so happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like Toby was just like very nostalgic for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dude, I fucking loved Toby when I was a kid, man.
Yeah, who didn't? There are very rare people who like didn't grow up with Toby Spider-Man. That's why Andrew's always been kind of just the awkward middle child.
Yeah. I do have a mild hot take regarding Toby, though. I'm older now, and honestly, I think he kind of sucks as an actor during Spider-Man.
I mean, low key, yeah, and I mean, especially you've seen him in other stuff. It's just
Once you see like other stuff, like I don't think he's an amazing actor overall, but I think he's definitely works really hard at it. And in other stuff, he's way better than he's in Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man, he'll go, "Yup, I'm Spider-Man. That's me." Like that's how he sounds. He's so flat. I'm like, I love these movies. but he did not grow. He did not age nearly as well as I thought he did when I was like 5.
That's see, that's the thing that I don't think a lot of people are like too what's the word? That's the thing that I don't think people want to admit just because they have like a huge nostalgia bias to it. It's not even just nostalgia. Sometimes I guess it's just because like they just like the film, which is fine. But that's always been something I've also noticed too, especially after watching Toby and other films. It's like, wow, his acting was the acting of all time.
Yeah. Definitely an actor here.
Like, I swear, if you go back to watch any other film with Toby, it feels like night and day. It's very jarring. Oh, but I think we got our own opinions, all right.
Well, I didn't get to say nothing.
Who are you?
Like you fucking matter. Okay.
All right.
No. Yeah.
So, well, I'm just gonna sound repetitive. But yes, love this movie. I fucking so happy just seeing Andrew on screen again because I love Amazing Spider-Man so much. The first movie, I love it a ton.
I do too.
You gotta share that. You gotta share the fact that you're actually to the Spider-Man movies. You watched like basically all of them for the first time that weren't MCU last year.
Before No Way Home came out, like a couple months beforehand, I hadn't seen any of the Spider-Man movies that were non-MCU. And me and Liam watched all of them like a couple months before No Way Home.
Yep. And this man loves the Amazing Spider-Man 1.
I loved the Amazing Spider-Man 1. That movie was so good.
Wasn't it like your favorite Spider-Man film before No Way Home?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was.
Yeah, it was really up there for me. I really liked it.
Which is crazy because a lot of people thought you were insane for having it over Spider-Verse.
I like Spider-Verse. I don't know. I mean, Spider-Verse is still good. It was like second.
I would have said over Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Verse Man 2 is in like third.
Spider-Man 2 is good.
Those are my top 3. Those were my top 3 at the time. But like, yeah, I love No Way Home. Me and Liam, we went and saw the extended version that came out last September. It wasn't really anything special. It was mostly just extra comedy scenes that were put back in. I think the best part about the extended version was that we got an extra minute of Spideys talking to each other on the tower. And we got probably the gayest line delivery ever from Andrew to Toby, where they were talking about the web coming out of his wrists, and Andrew says to him, "I want to see the holes." So yeah, that was pretty good.
That's great.
But yeah, I really adore the movie. It really just kind of like, it was the pickup that MCU Spidey really needed. And the way they go about it with fucking Toby and Andrew showing up and like kind of teaching him the lesson with Aunt May's death. I fucking adore that scene so much.
I would also say it's easily the best thing to come out of Phase 5.
Phase 4.
Phase 4.
Yeah,
right.
it was still Phase 4. Phase 5 begins now with Quantumania.
I hope I like it.
Oh god.
That's what made Phase 4 so abysmal for me, was when I was sitting there and I was like, all right, so how is Phase 4 ending to Nico when we were walking up into like fucking Wakanda Forever? And he was like, this is the movie. And I was like, no, it's not. Quantumania comes out in just a few months. And he's like, no, Liam, that's Phase 5. And that's what I was like, are you fucking for real?
This was the worst phase of movies that we got. Like, dear God.
It's so damn inconsistent. Not even just inconsistent, it's consistent. Some of it was just mostly like consistently mediocre.
Well, 3 forgettable movies, a really good one, another pretty good one, Love and Thunder.
Ton of Disney Plus fucking shows.
Oh yeah, the Disney Plus shows.
We will not be touching those.
Yeah, those, we will not be talking about those.
Oh, there's so many damn Disney Plus shows.
We gotta move on.
When Liam talked to me about how many Disney Plus shows there were, I was like, there is what? There was how many?
8 now.
And that's the problem with Phase 4, is how much they put in so little time.
What if Phase 4 had ended with She-Hulk?
That would have been so funny.
That would have been.
Bum, 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 bum.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to see that timeline. Actually,
They should have played the Avengers theme when she marched up to Kevin Feige's office.
They should have played the Avengers theme when she twerked with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes, yes.
That would have actually been a perfect soundtrack choice.
I agree with that.
All right.
Moving
But yeah.
on.
Peak
Now,
Fiction. Now we got Iron Man 1.
yeah, we got a tie actually between Iron Man 1 and Endgame at 94, both of them.
I agree with Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
yeah, that's pretty fair.
I truly don't think there's not much I could genuinely say about this film. It's already been talked about to the ground. I don't have much to say.
Iron
peak
Man
fiction.
1 set the foundation for literally everything else in
Insert-
this list
insert-
and every other comic book movie after this.
Exactly.
Insert King Recon clip.
Yeah.
It's
Now-
peak fire. Raw.
Now, I'm saying that to just get the Endgame fast enough so we could have the full conversation about Endgame
yeah,
and Infinity War, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Okay. So we all know Iron Man. Iron Man 1 kind of just goes without saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Endgame. The thing I was gonna say earlier in regards to that and Infinity War, I think the biggest thing that I did not like, was how Hulk was handled. Which I was on board with in Infinity War. I got it. It made sense. You know, he lost. His confidence was shattered. I got that. And I was like, okay, so there's probably gonna have to be some shit that's worked through, and he'll make a comeback in Endgame. And that's not at all what happened.
The comeback in Endgame.
Yeah, the comeback in
He made
Endgame
his
in
comeback
question.
all right.
I was so upset.
What I genuinely hate about it too is just that it just glossed over. This could have been probably one of the best things. Like you could have made either another Hulk movie or a show.
You could have made a movie or a show about him developing his fucking relationship with Hulk, but no.
Is one of the most complex Marvel characters. Like, this is not even like a subjective thing. This is an objective
They say no, the monster bitched out, so now I'm in control.
Like, he's one of the most complex Marvel characters. You can do so much with Hulk, like in his relation, like Bruce and Hulk's relationship. He's complex for a reason, but they was like, nope. Funny, right? Let's gloss over this and get back to the main story. I was like,
oh yeah,
it.
Thor's fat now.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He plays Fortnite.
He put on a couple pounds.
Okay, I can't even lie. That Fortnite joke made me laugh.
It was fun. It was funny.
It threw me off guard so badly. I did not see that coming out. Oh,
Thor, he's back again. He's back. New Master 69 will come to that basement and kick your ass.
bro, that
That
fucking
seems so
Fortnite
good.
opening day makes me laugh because it's just such an out of nowhere thing.
So that's what you guys were gonna say about both movies. I had something completely different.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually,
Well, my thing is with both these movies is they're great. They're a lot of fun as MCU films, but when you consider it as like, it
Its own
feels like
standalone
you're
film.
watching like a comic book like story arc, but like in live action. It does, if that makes sense. It doesn't really feel like
Yeah.
a movie in terms of structure. It feels like an event, but
I get what you mean. I think what you're trying to say, right, is that like it feels like something that's ripped straight out of a comic book, but it still has that same pacing of a comic book. But
it has
the thing is,
comic
for
book
when it
pacing,
comes,
but
yeah,
and
but the
it's-
thing when it comes to movies is that if it's on its own like standalone thing, it doesn't like you can
Yeah.
definitely see the flaws if it's like its own standalone.
it doesn't
film.
work because it's as an MCU movie, it's great, but as a movie, it's like you can't really call it a movie. Like it in the sense that like there's like a separation between an MCU movie and like a film. In the sense is like you have movies that are like where they have films, they have plots, stuff like Iron Man 1. You've got that. Like that's a movie with like plot structure and you've got character development and stuff like that. And you have that in Endgame and Infinity War, but with the actual pacing and the way that events play out. Because with Infinity War, everybody's coming together, and it's like, all these characters are coming together, and they're gonna fight the Black Order in the first one, and the second one in Endgame, they're traveling through time to go and to get the stones back, and it's like a lot of callbacks. And you've got that big fight at the end, but as like when you think of it as a film itself, it doesn't really like. I'd say
that same
you
structure.
take something like Star Wars. Like, even though it's reliant on previous movies, like, it still is a film. You can look at it as like a film and not like a comic book, I guess.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Like, you can still look at it as its own standalone thing, and not really like having to overly rely on the fact that it's like it's a comic book film or that it's based off of the comics or it. I, I could talk about this for a while, but I get what you basically trying to say.
Yeah.
'Cause I totally see it too. Because I read a lot of comics, so I could like totally see where you're coming from.
No, I used to too. But like,
I was like, I never even thought about it like that until like you just said it. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Like, you look at every single movie on this list, and even though they're kind of connected, you can, to an extent, you can look at all of these movies and go in and watch a film and understand the beginning and the middle and the end. And like, you get it. Like, I watched a movie, I can kind of understand what happened as like a standalone movie. But with these, you can't really do that. It's like its own beast. It's interesting because it's like
literally like it's literally like how comic books are, where it's like
it's a comic book.
Like you need pre-established lore sometimes to get like this big ass event that's going on.
Like, it's unprecedented because it's reliant on you having it's the conclusion to all of the overarching story that all of these movies were setting up beforehand, and it does it really well. It tells like this great story, but it's not like something like Lord of the Rings or something like Star Wars or like other or Harry Potter or long-running franchises that have movies that connect to one another. This can't really be Infinity War and Endgame can't really be compared to them because they aren't really like, they don't have that same plot structure.
So what you're basically trying to say, right, is like, even though it is like can't be considered a sequel to the other two Avengers films and a sequel to a lot of other films, it still can't, like, even if someone like watches on their own or without like having that previous knowledge, they still can't look at it as his own individual thing like you can for other movies such as like a Star Wars movie.
Or even something like even like No Way Home. Like, if you haven't, like, my roommate from college, like, he had never watched any of the MCU movies. We all went to see No Way Home. He'd never seen Far From Home or Spider-Man or any of those other movies before, but he still got it. I feel like if he watched Infinity War, which starts with how Ragnarok ends, he'd be so lost. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it starts off on the ship.
I actually agree with you completely.
It's weird. I'd say that's my issue kind of with Avengers and with like the idea, like the Scorsese critique, that like they aren't really like real films, because technically they aren't like films in terms of like how films are understood, in terms of how movies are understood. They're like events, and it was huge and it was a big event, but like as a movie, and I'm not saying I'm not saying they're bad. They're both incredible. But it's hard to call them like actual films because they are so different from everything else on this list.
Yeah, that's completely valid. I actually do agree with Martin's. God, I can never say his last name, but I actually do agree with Scorsese's like opinion to an extent for the most part, because and on paper, he's not even like entirely wrong about it. Which I can understand. And I completely understand why.
I disagree with the overall thing, but like his main thing is he says that Marvel movies aren't like movies and they're more like roller coaster rides. Which is I would say that's how Infinity War and Endgame are, but they're some of the best roller coaster rides.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I have the exact same. I think Scorsese is completely right, but it's kind of like the fucking Einstein quote or whatever the fuck, where it's like fish climb tree, blah blah blah, bird, blah blah. You know the one. Everyone knows the quote. The final two Avengers films are not trying to be like structured films. They're trying to be a celebration of this franchise.
Yeah, they're celebrations. They're not really structured. That's the biggest issue I have with them, but they're still incredible. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, which is a fine critique. because everyone has their own like different outview of how they view it.
Yeah.
And I've always said this for Scorsese. Like, yeah, even though it's a roller coaster ride, is a roller coaster ride like not supposed to be fun? Like,
No, it's a great fucking roller coaster ride.
Exactly. Even though I do like, for the most part, agree with that part of like what Scorsese said.
Hmm.
But
I wouldn't say it applies to all Marvel movies. Like something like Iron
Yeah,
Man, or especially the Captain America trilogy. I would not say it applies for movies like that because those are films. They have ethos.
But since I thought he was mostly just talking about like Infinity War and Endgame, I was like, yeah, I kind of agree, low key. Even though I do love these films, I do agree to an extent.
Yeah,
but other films like Captain America, the Iron Man, like I don't agree with. But for those two films specifically, I can sort of see where he's coming from.
They lack pathos in the sense that like a normal movie would have.
Yeah, which is fine. Like,
yeah, it's fine. It's their own unique beast, and they're very fun. And that's why
it's also fine to also critique that aspect of saying like you don't like that aspect. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. It's just like they're in this weird in between space of like a comic book and like a movie.
Yeah, like like it's such a hard thing to describe too, without like trying to like sound like overly negative.
Well, when you think about like movies without pathos or like movies without a point, basically, usually they're terrible. Like if a movie doesn't really have like a message, like a idea that it's trying to kind of get across, there's a very high chance that it's going to be a piece of garbage. But like with these, that doesn't happen. It doesn't have like normal film pathos, but they're still just incredible.
It is literally a comic book, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time when I think of a movie with no plot or no overarching like message, it's always a fucking room. Man, I can watch that film a lot. How funny it is.
I still need to watch it.
We still got one movie left.
Yeah.
And it is not at all what I expected. But,
this was a big surprise.
When I saw it at the top, I was like, huh?
Wait, you didn't know about this, Nico?
Nope.
I did not know about this at all.
This has been a source of controversy around this movie for years.
The best movie, Marvel movie, the best MCU movie of all time, according to Rotten Tomatoes critics, is Black Panther.
And we all know why it's this high. I guess I can be the one to talk about this. Black people adore this film. I'm not even joking. Okay. So my mom, right? She has never seen a MCU movie in her life. Never watched anything MCU related. But as soon as this film came out, watched it immediately. Why? Because this is actually the first time that a black character has got like big mainstream attention for a superhero movie. And because of that, so many black people have seen this film. Even people who have never cared or liked the MCU, they all went to go see this film, which has always been crazy to me. I don't think. Actually, to this day, I still think this being like super high is fucking insane. Like, I love Black Panther. Don't get me wrong. For me, it's in my personal top 10, right? But it being this high is absurd. Like, did not expect it to get this high. I think I've already talked about this with Nico. Killmonger is still
yes, you told me,
my personal favorite MCU villain. Do I agree with every single message he's done? Of course not. I don't agree with everything he says, but that's like the point of a villain. They have
you don't have to agree with somebody who said they're great.
Yeah,
I say Justin Hammer is one of my favorites just because he sucks.
Exactly. I love this film. Oh God. Okay, I'm about to ramble on for a minute. But if you watch this film as like a black person, I can see why you, especially if you don't have any prior knowledge to the MCU, I can see why someone would like love this film because it talks about the commentary about what it's like for I guess, growing up to be black, for people who are in the hood and who are not in the hood, and how that affects childs, especially for people who get their parents killed. Stuff like that I could probably talk about, since that goes farther than just the MCU and superheroes. It goes into like social commentary about like black people as a whole. So I could see how people who have never like experienced the MCU could like love this film as its own individual film. Do I like this film? Yes. Do I think it's the best MCU movie? Not by a long shot. Do I think Killmonger is probably my favorite MCU villain? Of course. So I think he's probably the best well-written MCU villain. Nah, I still probably give that to Thanos. But great film. Has a lot of good messages. I can see why people looked up to T'Challa as much as they did. And I can see why this film was talked about so much, especially for in the black community, because black superheroes haven't really got like such that mainstream attention since probably like Blade at this point. But overall, yeah, like I don't think I have. Oh wait, another thing I gotta say: the CGI in this movie stinks.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I remember.
That final scene with Killmonger and Black Panther
It's so
is
bad.
unwatchable to me.
When he's in the purple room.
That's a PS2 scene.
Yeah. It's actually an animated PS3 scene, bruh.
If also,
Horrible.
if I could say one thing about Black Panther, because what I always think about when I remember Black Panther is there's this reviewer named Armand White who writes for the National Review.
Yeah.
And he's like, he said that he called Black Panther inherently racist.
What?
Inherently racist. He says it's a commercial strategy that resembles the Democratic Party's political manipulation of Black Americans. This guy is like, it's like talking about how it's so funny. It's like a horrible review, and it's even funnier when you consider that this guy considers Man of Steel the godfather of superhero movies.
That does make it serious. Funnier.
See, the only remote social commentary this film talks about is that like how Killmonger and T'Challa, they're kind of similar to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. That's literally the only thing, and it's only like a slight comparison.
Yeah, no, he very much weighs in on the on the Malcolm X, what he calls politics.
But here's the thing:
it's so
a superhero movie. It's not trying to be controversial.
Okay, his final line is that Black Panther is part of a new form of segregation.
What the fuck?
I know it is. I'm gonna send it here.
Yeah, you got it. That's hilarious.
It's actually insane. This man's titles are like, and then here's his review for Man of Steel that is titled "Movie of the Year?"
This has got to be one of the funniest things I think I ever heard.
It is. Armand just.
But yeah, what? Yeah,
he's a known contrarian, but it's like it fucking borders on parody with his with what his writings, like the just. Oh my god. That's so
funny.
That's so funny.
I've already. You go ahead.
It's funny.
I've already brought it up before, but this movie being at the top, of all of them, has been kind of a source of controversy for a while, and we're looking at basically one side, but like. Again, I don't mean like this in any political way at all, but like on another side, I brought up Cosmonaut already in this. I'm gonna bring him up again. He's someone who didn't like the movie, but not in the same way.
No, this is definitely like a these are the ramblings of a psychopath.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's really funny to watch it read Armand White reviews or like just the titles. It's funnier when you like the fucking Man of Steel take is just, dear God, the Godfather of
Man, I think
superhero,
it's so funny.
the Godfather of superhero movies.
I have got to.
It's the
I
first
gotta
movie to be
run this movie.
directed by a real filmmaker since Tim Burton in 1989.
Wait, that's the
Director,
best line I've ever heard in my entire life.
director
Yeah,
Zack
I'm
Snyder
reading
does
this guy's
more than
reviews.
reboot the past Superman franchise. He
I'm
immediately
reading this
gives the
guy's
subject
reviews
his signature,
as
something Burton
soon as this
couldn't
is
do
out.
until Batman Returns.
Holy shit.
It is
Oh my
various.
god, why is there so much goddamn Zack Snyder dick writing? Holy shit.
Unlike Burton's, Snyder's sensibility derives from comic books and graphic novels, yet his visual extravagance also contains the palpably erotic core of comic book fantasy.
Bro has
Best
never
line
picked up a
delivery
comic
of
book in his
all
life.
time.
God, that's so funny, bruh.
He says
Yeah.
The Legends of the Guardians, The Owls of Gahoo is a masterpiece, I promise you. At some point. I just read that.
This film being at number one is kind of shocking, and also kind of not shocking because this movie made a fuck ton of money from black people.
Yeah.
Kind of insane.
But yeah, Black Panther for Cosmonaut and like other people. I think like Shafrillis, for example, had the same take, which was a lot of people on the other side of the aisle from whatever the fuck this guy's going on about. A lot of people had to take that Killmonger had that trait, which was basically, I think TV tropes classifies it as kicking the dog, which is basically like you have a villain who's got this like tragic backstory and whatnot, and they have like sympathetic goals, blah blah blah. But to show that they're evil, they gotta kick a dog. And like that Killmonger with that. That basically Killmonger is basically the protagonist the entire movie until he gets into the throne room. Is like, and now we burn everything. We kill everyone.
That's not even true because not only did he not only did in the film itself it already showed how much of he's just not afraid to kill anyone, but did they literally
he is
forget
called
the scene?
Killmonger after all.
Yeah, exactly. And did they literally forget the scene where it's like he took off his shirt and each scar represents how many people he's killed?
He looks like a Snickers bar.
Yeah, like it was pretty obvious. Hey, bro was already a psychopath. Like, oh, bro.
Yeah,
Actually, I haven't watched Cosmonaut video like on Black Panther in a minute.
Yeah, I think Cosmo in particular really didn't like the final act and how it was structured more so. But I know Shafrillis mostly because I saw the review just a second ago was talking about how Killmonger was was basically right through the end, and someone else, I think it was do you guys know that his YouTube channel is just called Sean, but it's the skeleton guy.
I think I've seen that before.
He has a really cool Harry Potter video, but he also made a tweet similar recently, which was talking about Killmonger. All I know is Killmonger and Black Panther 1, it has so much discourse around it.
Yep. Which makes sense because practically is like Marvel Malcolm X.
Yep.
But here's the thing, he is my personal favorite MCU villain. I don't agree with like some of the shit he says. The only thing I think I agree with probably the most is probably that thing that he said when he entered Wakanda and how like his family should have helped him whenever T'Challa's dad killed his father. Like I fully 1,000% agree with that. But the way he went about it, like that's the thing. Even though he does fit some shit, like that I agree with. The way he goes about it is, I don't think you kind of low-key have to be a psychopath to agree with that. And that like killing people is the right thing, and like shit like that. Just in general, Black Panther, like that movie has so much controversy around it for some reason.
Yep, and it being at the top is only drawing more attention to it.
Yeah,
I'm happy that Wakanda Forever kind of eased in. That movie is really good, and I really like it. And it's just, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say in it. Mostly because, again, I'm not like a target audience exactly for the movie, unsurprisingly.
Why? No, I'm joking. Yeah.
But it was really beautiful, and I really liked the direction they went. And I'm just so happy that people can have peace and quiet around the movie, especially considering that Chadwick is, dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's. I'm really happy that nothing really came of that movie. Where it feels like any movie that has any minority in it right now with the MCU is just bound for controversy, which is so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Miss
I
Marvel,
agree.
ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Because,
Are you excited for the
I've not
Marvel
heard
Nico?
anything about Miss Marvel being it's basically the most inoffensive drop so far. I've not heard anything like any cringe online person talk about how it's a terrible show, but people were still shitting on it up until its release. It's like, come on, guys.
most of the people that I've actually seen like shit on Miss Marvel was fucking comic book fans, but
Oh, of
they
course.
they had some pretty valid points, I'd say.
Also, I don't mean to cut you guys off, but a really funny coincidence.
Yeah.
Today is the 5-year anniversary of Black Panther coming out.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I did not know that.
I just saw on Twitter. I'm like, oh,
Nico, you're so fucking smart. Wait, you predicted this? Wait, you
you
planned
planned
this?
this. He
Yeah,
knew.
totally.
Dude, Nico, this is insane. You're so smart. You're the best podcast host
Yeah.
The podcast host ever.
for sure.
Oh my god! But yeah, I love the film. Obviously, it's still in my top 10 favorite MCU films. But to me, just nowhere near the best. It's still a good film. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best. It's the most popular. Don't Yeah, for sure, by far the most popular. Oh wait, actually, there's always been one thing that I personally was never a big fan
I
of for
hate.
Black Panther. But this is a comic. Speaking from like a comic book perspective. T'Challa in this film is low-key a little too nice to me. You're probably like, what does that mean? Because he's a superhero, right?
I
He's
agree.
supposed
I
to be
agree with you.
he's
Actually, agree
supposed to
with
be a nice
you.
guy, right? Will kill anyone and anything that tries to
Yeah.
enter Wakanda. It doesn't matter who you are.
He was characterized
That,
so well in Civil War and then dialed back so hard.
like that like yeah, I love Killmonger. I love like all that, but
No, Civil War
I don't know,
T'Challa was
just
out for blood.
a peaceful T'Challa just doesn't really work for me like that. Like it probably should have. I mean, he was still good. Don't get me wrong, but like compared to comic T'Challa, I think just comic T'Challa is not only just more interesting, but like his actual reasoning for wanting like people to stay out of Wakanda was a lot more like. I mean, a lot more invested because he was bloodthirsty. He was not afraid to kill anyone or anything that tried to threaten Wakanda, even remotely. While this T'Challa, it feels like he's more afraid to do it, despite him literally being like out for blood in Civil War. Like, if we're talking about T'Challa as a character, I think he was a lot better written in Civil War, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
compared to the Black Panther movie. I've always thought this, but he wasn't half bad in Black Panther. He was just sort of, I don't know how to describe it, mediocre for me. But yeah, those are all my personal thoughts about Black Panther. I'll probably. I don't know. I'm trying to give them a different perspective, or at least try to inform you guys how it was for like the Black community,
Oh,
or like
sure,
how
yeah.
impactful it was. Because again, we haven't got like a super mainstream superhero besides maybe Blade, and all the other like original Black characters for a superhero movie are very either underrated or not talked about at all. So it was pretty impactful to see that. Same thing with the Spider-Verse, but not to the same extent. Literally only just because it was animated, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a cool film, but not number one in my opinion. But yeah, I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, I think we got everything covered.
Yeah,
Once
that's
maybe
really all
gonna
the
be
movies.
the film ever, the
We got
film of
every
all time.
movie. It was good.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was all of
Captain
them.
America trilogy unmatched. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Agree with that. I made my little list, so after we end this, post it. But I wanted to just say I fucking hate that Black Panther article you posted was that scene of T'Challa walking, because all I can think of is the Ryan Gosling edit.
Okay, thank you. This entire time I was like, holy shit! I was like, did I just imagine the Ryan Gosling thing this entire time?
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling.
Bro, that image is so fucking funny for no reason. As you can see, I am not black. I always like imagine him saying that. It makes it way funnier. Oh god.
But yeah, I think it's a good point to end it. So yeah, that was a long one. This is the longest one yet,
Yeah.
I think. Almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was fun though.
Yeah, no, that was a
Ant-Man 1, unmatched, greatest of all time. Thank you for coming to my.
Interesting there.
Justin
thank you.
Hammer is the best antagonist in the MCU.
Yes, that's also true.
All this is really interesting when the Green Goblin's an antagonist in the MCU now. So
That's true.
Willem Dafoe might be unmatched there, guys. You guys might have to rethink some things here.
Okay, but I think we should all just rewatch Iron Man 2 and just appreciate Justin Hammer being a
We have
total
to.
shithead.
No, you're right. You're right.
Because you saying that makes me want to rewatch it so
No,
bad.
'cause
right now.
I remember, no, like literally, like I was telling my dad. My dad's like, "Yeah, no, Iron Man 2 sucked," and then I showed him the Justin Hammer clip, and he couldn't stop laughing. And I'm like, when you just look at it and realize just Justin Hammer sucks, and he is the best part of this movie, it makes it infinitely better.
Oh my god,
A little
I have
bit Don
to.
Cheadle erasure, but also yes, he's insanely fucking funny.
Just
I
like,
have to rewatch it through that lens now. It sounds like it's really funny. Oh my god, peak fiction.
it's just this clip.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good ending point. So I'm gonna stop it here. But thank you
I'm gonna
all
do
for
205.
listening. Hope you enjoyed that MCU. I guess kind of breakdown, sort of review.
Yeah. We
That was
are
fun,
the
though. I
new.
liked it.
We are the, and it's also all factual.
Yes.
Yeah,
If
we're
you
the
disagree
arbiters.
with us,
We
we'll come and kill you.
We run Rotten Tomatoes.
If you disagree, you're wrong.
Yep.
It's just simple.
Can I have an
Great
opinion?
trauma
If you
bit,
like,
right,
if you
okay.
like Ant-Man 2, I'll find you where you live.
You like Ant-Man? If you like Ant-Man 2, I got a machete.
Yep. And Bruce and Pizza Papa's the best cameo in the entire MCU.
And Man of Steel is clears all of these.
True.
Is
Yes.
that
The
Yes.
Godfather
Actually.
of superhero movies.
Yep. Man of Steel is way better.
Dog, you saying that is
That's
still one
my
of the
favorite movie of
funniest
all
things
time,
I've
man.
ever heard today. Godfather of superhero movies.
It's in the article.
Oh my! I have to
Holy
read that
shit.
article.
I shit you
have
not.
to.
It is in the article.
I am
It is the last line.
As soon as the podcast ends, I'm gonna read it.
No, Sam, actually, I'm gonna read at least one of these dudes' articles before I pass out.
Before I.
Yep.
So wait,
I'm gonna
Nico.
end it. What's up?
Yeah.
What did you say? Okay. All right. I'm ending here. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Remember, I'm correct. I'm the
You can
protagonist.
see, I am not black.